back in 2013. Indiana, Dustin Sweetelson, has never gone on the road to State College and picked up a victory against Penn State, and yet they are expected to win this game by at least 2 touchdowns. Indiana as a favorite now under Curt Cignetti, 19-0 straight up. Average margin of victory is 35.5 points per game. The Hoosiers are 14-5 against the number, 7-4 ATS in games when they were booked as at least a 2-touchdown favorite. We're still waiting on Penn State under the interim head coach in Terry Smith. Could they have that game with all the talent to provide a little bit of a juice, a little bit of a spark? I'm not sure it happens today in this matchup. Ohio State's defense, lethal. Indiana's not so bad either. I think Indiana wins comfortably today in Happy Valley.
Yeah, look, some of the trends would tell you Cignetti can put it on anyone, but a lot of the numbers go back to his time at James Madison, where he's 10-3 against the spread, 10-3 to the over as a road favorite in his career, 4-1 covering the number as a road favorite at Indiana, 4-1 to the over there. But Cignetti's just 4-3 against the spread as a road favorite of 10.5 to 21. So I think that does play a role here. And to your point, Penn State, 7-1 straight up versus Indiana going back to 2016. 19-2 straight up if we go all the way back to 2001. I think Penn State has a chance to keep it close, but you didn't see me running to the window to bet that. I mean, it's right. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and betting on this Penn State team will not be one of them, as we've got Mississippi State across midfield. A couple of nice plays, and I believe Shapen and company just picked up a first down on 3rd and 11, which is massive. He used his legs a bit there on the play prior to pick up a chunk of yards. Now through the air, they're across midfield, and they're moving the football on this Georgia defense. However, they just sacked Shapen for a loss of about 8 yards. So that's where we stand in that game, man. We got lucky. The last couple weeks here on this program, Ben, we get to take everyone through the early window on Live Bet Saturday. And the last couple weeks, the best games have been in this early window. There's a few later on today, but I am very excited to see how Mississippi State and Georgia plays out. I'm excited about BYU and Texas Tech, where I think there's going to be points scored in that game. And then we've got a bunch of other games in this early window as well. Did you do anything with Colorado and West Virginia? As the Buffaloes turn over to Juju Lewis, the big 4-star freshman recruit, to take over at quarterback against the Mountaineers of West Virginia, is this thing a pick 'em right now, or is that the live number? Hold on.
That's got to be the live one.
Yeah, that's got to be the live number, because last I looked, it was, 6, I believe?
6.5 in favor of the Mountaineers. Yeah. No, I did not do much. I had some friends telling me this week, Dustin, how could you not lay the number with West Virginia after the performance last week on the road in Houston, winning outright that we were detailing here in the early window? Scotty Fox Jr., the new QB for Rich Rod, has been a revelation at the position, orchestrating the Rich Rodriguez offense the way that we are all accustomed to. To me, it's a letdown spot for West Virginia, despite being back home in those friendly country roads of Morgantown. And I kind of believe in Julian Lewis. He was the number 2 quarterback recruit in the 2025 class. He obviously has not won the job just yet in Boulder prior to this Saturday. I think this game might be a little bit closer than we anticipated entering, as you see some live line movement early there in the game in Morgantown.
Yeah, I'm still seeing live 6.5s out there. Yeah, we're just underway, a few minutes went, and I think Colorado's the side, though. They waited. And, Deion Sanders, things have not gone well in the transition, losing Shedeur Sanders, his son, losing Travis Hunter, losing Jimmy Horn. And he waited. He didn't force the hand of putting a kid in at quarterback before he was ready. Well, this is the perfect opportunity to get him acclimated. And I believe with the redshirt rules, he does have a chance to still keep his eligibility this year. Right. So I think they've played this smartly and not putting him out there until he's ready to perform. I think he's ready. So we'll keep you updated on all of the early window action. We're just getting underway at Beaver Stadium. Updates coming all day long on Live Bet Saturday.
With Progressive, it's easy to reach customer service with our app, website, chat, or by phone. Because when getting help is hard, it's not help at all.
Little help. A little help over here.
Thank you for calling Bench Press Assistance.
What?
Due to excessive gym volume, all available spotters are currently lifting heavy weights off the chests of other bench pressers.
Seriously?
Please continue to hold, and we will remove the barbell from your chest in the order in which your cry for help was received.
Getting assistance should be easy. With Progressive, it is. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Walk right through the door, it's all here to explore. With guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Drink responsibly, B21. Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-1313. 800-791-1313.
Hey, this is Grace Remington for VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Darius Slayton's coming off a strong game with the Giants and draws a great matchup against struggling corner Nashawn Wright. Without star corner Jalen Johnson, the Bears ranked just 22nd in dropback EPA allowed. VSiN's Opta AI projection puts Slayton at 52
Forest
yards,
Ranger
well
Betty
above.
White here, lending a hand to my dear friend Smokey Bear. Because for years, he's only said,
only you can prevent wildfires.
But there's a lot more to say. Like if you park your car on tall, dry grass, the hot exhaust pipe can start a wildfire. So keep the animals safe, especially the cute shirtless one. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
You're listening to Western Reserve Radio at westernreserveradio.com on the Live 365 network and the Live 365 app.
Now officially underway, and we've got scoring in a big one in a place I affectionately call Stark Vegas. Mississippi State hosting number 5 Georgia. This line screeching in favor of the Dogs, that being from Athens, closing as a 9-point favorite today against Mississippi State. But Dustin Sweetelson, I'm having some delays with my streaming service of choice today. You just saw our first score of our marquee matchups in the early window, correct? It's Mississippi State as the home dog, striking first.
A surgical drive by the home Bulldogs against the visiting Bulldogs of Georgia. Blake Shapen goes 4 of 4 on the drive for 34 yards. They get down to the goal line, and they run a Wildcat package for Kamario Taylor, who puts it into the end zone. They're on the board up 7-0. Your line adjustment. Georgia was just laying 4.5. They're now 5.5 because as soon as that number starts to drop and we're under a touchdown, everyone wants to bet Georgia. And I'm sure Georgia's going to have an answer at some point, but I'm not ready to come back the other way. I will maybe if we can get under a field goal, but I love what I saw in that scripted opening drive from Mississippi State. Let's see on the road early start if maybe the Bulldogs are a little bit sluggish here. And speaking of sluggish, we've come to see in this window when we're watching Indiana Hoosiers games, Ben, they score very early and very often. They were forced to punt on their opening drive at Penn State, which I think is massive. They're now laying 13.5, totals 47.5. I'm on that first half under. I'm very curious, if Penn State were to score on this drive, what would it do to the number? As I just saw it tick down to 12 and a hook. If I can get under 10 with Indiana during this game, I'd consider it. But I do think this is going to be tough sledding. And those of you who caught 15.5 at home with Penn State, I think you got a great number on a home team and a dog that's live.
A lot like last week, Dustin, in a game we expected to be the game of the week, at least the game of the early window. Penn State visiting Columbus and the number 1 team in the country in Ohio State. The Nittany Lions trailed by only 3, 17-14 at the break. We saw that line that early in the week was 20-plus, close at 17.5, and when Penn State was down by just a field goal at the halftime locker room, that was an 11.5-point spread. You jumped on it live. Turned out Ohio State didn't even need the live wager. They could have covered the pregame number, winning that game by 24. I do believe there will be live betting opportunities on IU in that matchup because Penn State might provide a spark on their first scripted drive. I still think the Nittany Lions offensively, even back at home in State College with Ethan Grunkemeyer under center, are going to struggle against this really stout Hoosiers defense. We saw this first week, right? Our college football playoff rankings. And one of the more competitive spots, perhaps, or debatable spots, was a Notre Dame team, Dustin Sweetelson, at number 10 in the country. Notre Dame in front of Texas and Oklahoma, despite maybe the Longhorns and Sooners having more quality wins. Notre Dame 8 spots in front of the team that beat them on the opening full weekend of the year in Miami. And a lot of people pointed to the Irish's game last week and said, did you not see them struggle in Chestnut Hill? They can't even make PATs even after they score touchdowns against Boston College. And we saw SMU pull off the outright upset in Dallas against Miami in that early window. SMU, Boston College today with the Stangs a 10.5-point road favorite in Boston. But Dustin Sweetelson was thinking otherwise. What drew you to Bill O'Brien in the one-win Eagles?
I just hate the spot for SMU coming off a win against Miami. They got up for it. They were also at home, and they were catching 10.5. Now they're laying 10.5 on the road at Boston College, who, let's be fair, a week ago played Notre Dame really tough for 3 quarters, and SMU and Notre Dame are not on the same level. So just because I thought it was a good spot for SMU, emotional high a week ago, they're not going to look at Boston College the same way that they looked at Miami. Rhett Lashley just 3-3 covering the number as a road favorite of 7.5 to 14. He's 9-10 against the spread off of a home win. And surprisingly, Bill O'Brien 3-1 ATS as a dog of 10.5 to 21 points at BC. It's tough when you're backing a team that's on a 10-game losing streak in Boston College. But remember, SMU is not all that special. Miami's coached by Mario Cristobal. They were always bound to blow games like that. They've done it the last couple years since he took over. And SMU is still the same squad that lost to Wake Forest a couple weeks ago. Let's remember that. They'll play down to their competition. They're not that good. However, I may be eating my words because they're up 7-0. They scored the first touchdown of the game there in Chestnut Hill. So that's where we stand. SMU's up to a 14.5-point favorite. I already have the 10.5 on BC. I'd take them plus 14.5 at this point in time, Ben.
We've got more scoring. Our first score of the day in Lubbock in the top 10 tilt between number 8 Texas Tech and number 7 BYU. Parker Kingston, the exciting wide receiver / returner for the Cougs, muffed the punt inside his own 15.
Grove City wins the PAC. The Cinderella story is alive.
Piper takes the snap. Looking to throw. Fires downfield. Frazier made the catch and scored the touchdown to win it for the Wolverines.
This afternoon on the Wolverines Sports Network, the Grove City College football team begins a regular season-ending 2-game road trip to Northeast Ohio. Game number 1, a trip to Cleveland to take on the always powerful Case Western Reserve Spartans. Kickoff coming up at the top of the hour from Cleveland. But first, it's time once again for the Andrew DiDonato Show here on the Wolverines Sports Network. This week's show, as always, brought to you by Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash in Grove City. Hi, everybody. Ryan Briggs here, along with Grove City College head football coach Andrew DiDonato. Coach, welcome back. Always great to be with you.
Great to be back with you, Briggsy.
The Grove City Wolverines closed the home schedule for the regular season last week in impressive fashion. A 59-14 victory on Senior Day over St. Vincent. And suffice to say, Coach, to summarize it in one sentence, a great Senior Day for all involved.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a huge moment. I always say, I don't remember every game that I played, every detail of it, but there's few I remember. One of them's the last one you play at home. I mean, Senior Day is a big deal, and for all of our seniors to get to play, make plays, be involved, nice solid win, celebrate them in the evening. We have our banquet. It was just a perfect day. It really was when you think of what Senior Day should all be about.
The Grove City Wolverines, of course, getting the win last week, and so many contributors. Ian DeMary, kind of a bit of an odd stat line: 37 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns. But a senior who's done a lot of dirty work running the football. Really cool to see him get it in there 4 times.
Yeah, it's really neat. You always appreciate when guys own their role, and we have our we call him our spread running back, which is more the 3 to 4 wide receiver type running back, and Chase Rankin has taken on those duties this season, and Ian, like he has for the last couple years, has been our double fullback or more heavier personnel package, and sometimes with that heavy personnel package, it means you only get a few carries, but you get really meaningful ones, aka short yardage, red zone, and that's how the game went Saturday, and for him to get the ball 4 times in the end zone, just a tough runner when he's called upon, and glad he did it multiple times on his last time playing on Thorne Field.
Some other seniors really making contributions in all facets, but I think obviously at quarterback Ethan Wiley getting his first win as a starter. Career high 189 yards passing. Threw a touchdown pass to Derek Lambert, who's been the long snapper the last 2 years. Derek, in case those forget, he's a wide receiver as well, and he showed he can go up and get one. Eli Jones running for a touchdown. Looked like Christian Royer had a touchdown, but an unfortunate penalty on the perimeter kind of wiped out that. But getting some guys who have put in the work the last 3.5 years, them getting that payoff on senior day too, really special.
Yeah, it was so special. Derek and Eli, I think both of them together, obviously they're good friends, support each other. Just their excitement for each other on each one was special. Guys who, both of those are just great plays. Obviously Derek doing what he does well, went up, made an unbelievable play on the football there on the end zone right there in the front pylon. And then, Eli making a great cut, and then, being able to take it the distance was really special. Christian too, same exact thing as Eli. Unfortunately, his got called back, but another just another guy making a great play, and just proud of Ethan and the journey he's been on. A captain for us. Last game at home, first start there. Just played solid. I think especially in that second half. There's a span. We took 4 to 5 different routes in a row on similar concepts, meaning just totally having an understanding of what the defense given us, why we're going to go to this route, why we're going to check it to this play, this route. Just really was in a great flow, and I'm excited now for him to build on that as we enter into a very important game this season this week down in Cleveland.
The Wolverine defense, another strong outing against a St. Vincent defense that had been putting up a lot of points, a lot of yardage, holding Chris Downs, one of the top receivers in the PAC statistically, holding him in check, getting after quarterback Jake Phillips. It seemed like it was all 11 guys operating as one.
Yeah, all sorts of the line of scrimmage. They have a really good running attack, and we were able to shut that down, which was always where we want to start. And then with that, a great way to limit a good passing attack is get pressure on the quarterback, win the line of scrimmage, obviously get pressure into the backfield, and just solid all around. I see another senior, Jordan Karcheski. Obviously the whole D-line played great, but he's just dominating up front. And when he's moving a guy backwards consistently, it helps. Then you get those seniors of Jolly and Brubaker flying around to the quarterback, and just a really special day. Keegan Frazier, all he does now is get interceptions. So, obviously I could be highlighting everybody. I'm highlighting some of the seniors here. But our defense is playing at a very high level, and that continued this past week.
You mentioned the Keegan Frazier interception, really a pivotal point in last Saturday's game. It was a tight game for the first 28 minutes of the half. Grove City gets a touchdown, goes up 21-7, and then Frazier the interception, and then run back, setting up a field goal to make it 24-7. Grove City then receiving the second half kickoff. Wolverines had deferred, go down and score. All of a sudden, 14-7 turns into 31-7 in not a lot of amount of game action per se. Certainly complimentary football at its finest.
Yeah, definitely our most complete game in that regards. What I felt, one thing we've done really well is take advantage of opportunities. There's been many times in this run that we've been on where, we make a play and then the offense makes a play. And special teams, all of a sudden, it's a close game, and next thing you know, it's out of hand. And that's really the first time that's happened this season, which has been exciting. Obviously, we're in a great spot, 6-2, but I think that was, in some regards, our most complete football game of all three phases complementing each other really well. And we need it, especially we go down this final stretch of finishing the season strong, so we can put ourselves in the best position possible for postseason play.
It was, of course, senior day, but some underclassmen really showing up. Chase Rankin, another solid game running the football, a receiving core. Saw some different things, too, in terms of maybe some short passing, some hitches and so forth. Seems like the passing game, which, with a lot of new faces this year and some interchangeable parts, it seems like guys are really getting synced up now.
Yeah, it's been a journey. It has this year. We know that in a positive light. It's one of those things where, we talk a lot about vision and identity, and we have the identity of what's gotten us in position to be a top team in the PAC, and once again, be going into the end of the season with everything still at stake, still a PAC opportunity, but then postseason opportunity. But in that identity, it's with each, group, maximizing that to the fullest. And I've been really excited over the last couple weeks, just identifying some things where, we can take what we've done well, but to another level. And I think we started to see glimpses of that with the areas you just mentioned. It's something that we want to continue to build upon. And, I think it's going to set us up not only to be successful the rest of this season, but set us up for the future as what puts Grove City in the best position possible to compete in the PAC and nationally each year. And some of those wrinkles you saw this week, I think, are going to be a big part of it as we continue to grow.
A half century ago, when George Allen was an NFL coach in Washington, he'd always say the future is now.
Correct.
Well, I mean, the future is the future, but also we've saw defensively some glimpses of the future. Nick Clemens taking over in place of the sidelined Ben Bladel last week. Ben missing the game due to an injury. And Nick Clemens from Moon High School blocking a punt to set up a touchdown and also recording a sack. And then Danny Franco, sophomore linebacker, who's been on all the special teams. He was coming on third down situations, the role that Nick Clemens had. Two guys I know that, if you're, again, not looking too far ahead, but two guys who have a very good chance of being in the starting lineup in 2026 at linebacker. Getting those guys really meaningful snaps now, too, and them making big plays, contributing. They're not just out there, filling a space, but doing things. That's certainly has to be very exciting that you're getting immediate returns and investing in the future.
Yeah, I tell the guys this week, you are what you behold, and this is what Brick by Brick's all about, and it's biblical. It says as we stare at Christ and spend time with Him, we get transformed from one degree of glory to another. What that scripture is saying is essentially is if you stare at something long enough, you start to become like it. And I say that's why you never look at a Ben Bladel or a Jack Jolly or the guys we've had in the past and just say, wow, those guys are just great. No, you look at them and say, okay, what are they doing well? Why are they the great player that they are? You study them, and if you study them long enough, all of a sudden, Nick, you may start to use that speed rip just like Ben does. Oh, Danny, you may trust that in-phase, out-of-phase decision of the guard like Jack and attack it the way he does. And that's what those guys are doing. That's why I say that's what Brick by Brick's all about. I have libraries of every successful play we've had because it's you are what you behold, and I really believe these guys are not just watching these great players play in front of them, but they have been studying them. And when I watch them Saturday make similar plays, I'm like, okay, you're seeing that. You're seeing the fruits of that. Continue studying these guys. Soak in every minute you have with them. Soak in all the film we have of them. And then you can see the success that they had. And I think those two guys are two guys that have done that and need to continue to do that as we continue to progress this season and beyond.
And a lot of guys getting the opportunity to put some things on tape now. It's one thing to do it in practice, but now to do it on a Saturday in front of a crowd against guys in another jersey. So guys who have been the number 2 at whatever position that may be, guys who are pushing, or maybe in some cases some freshmen. We saw Mike Holloman, the number 3 quarterback, get a couple of series. All those things, I mean, I'm sure from an individual player development standpoint, there's no substitute for that, right?
Absolutely. No, it's, you need game experience and just maximizing every opportunity you have to grow. You just named another guy that I'm just excited that continues to progress. And no, a lot of positive things Saturday, a lot of positive film to have to continue to help grow everybody in this program.
Grove City wins its 5th straight, 59-14 over St. Vincent. The Wolverines closing the regular season home schedule last week. This week back on the road at Case Western Reserve. The Spartans They've been a perennial power in the PAC. They're looking to rebound from a tough loss Saturday night at Washington and Jefferson. Head coach Greg Devilak has another strong outfit. A program that in a lot of ways is very similar to Grove City in terms of who they have, who they've lost, what they've gone through this year. We'll talk about the Spartans when we come back. But first, we'll take a break. Here's Joe Anderko with this week's PAC Football Report. You're listening to the Andrew DiDonato Show, brought to you by Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash in Grove City.
Welcome to the PAC Football Report for November 8th, 2025. I'm Joe Underko. This week we will take a quick look back at last week's football action in the President's Athletic Conference, while also previewing Week 10 games this Saturday. Washington and Jefferson stayed unbeaten in PAC play with a 28-17 home win against Case Western Reserve, giving Coach Mike Sirianni his 200th career win. Grove City remained a game back with their 5th straight win, 59-14 over St. Vincent. In other action, Westminster rolled past Allegheny 57-21, while Waynesburg posted a 48-28 win at Bethany. Finally, Teal earned its first win of the season with a 48-20 road victory at Hiram. Geneva had the weekend off. Offensive PAC Player of the Week recognition in Week 9 went to Waynesburg junior running back Carson Shriver with 24 carries for 228 yards, including a 64-yard TD at Bethany. Defensive honors went to Teal senior linebacker Jake Badger with 8 tackles, an interception, and a fumble return for a TD at Hiram. Special teams laurels went to Waynesburg senior returner Isaac Trout with a 91-yard kickoff return TD at Bethany. Newcomer of the week was Westminster freshman quarterback Quentin Good, who passed for 292 yards and 2 scores versus Allegheny. The Week 10 league schedule again features 5 conference contests, while Allegheny has the bye. The game of the week features 6-2 W&J traveling to Beaver Falls to face 5-3 Geneva at Reeves Field at 1 p.m. The Presidents are 6-0 in league play and can clinch their league record 28th conference title with a win, while Geneva is 5-1 and can move into a tie for first with a victory. W&J has dominated the series 50-19-2 all time, including 17 straight wins, with the last GT win over the Presidents being a 19-0 Geneva shutout back in 1983. In other action, 4-3 Case Western Reserve hosts 6-2 Grove City at DeSanto Field in Cleveland at 1 p.m. The Spartans have won 5 of 9 all-time matchups with the Wolverines since 2006, but GCC has won the last 3 meetings, including a 30-20 final in Grove City a year ago. Wolverine head coach Andrew DiDonato previews the key conference matchup.
Yeah, we are 2 programs with a clear identity, and that's why these have been great games, including the overtime game last time we went down there. And they're so well coached and disciplined, and that's why it takes 4 quarters. And I think this is going to be another one of those exciting Grove City and Case matchups.
With a Week 11 bye upcoming, 3-6 Waynesburg closes the 2025 season at home this week by hosting 2-6 St. Vincent at Wiley Stadium at 1 p.m. It's the 44th all-time meeting in a series that dates back to 1929. The Jackets have won the last 2 matchups, including a 21-7 final in 2024. Waynesburg head coach Cornelius Coleman talks about maintaining balance on his team through the peaks and valleys of the season.
You know, I'm not doing it by myself. I have a great coaching staff. I have a great group of upperclassmen. I have a great group of seniors. So to even navigate through that, where it was difficult at certain points, the love, the admiration, and the family atmosphere here kept us cemented as a team.
2 teams looking to finish their season on a positive note clash in Greenville when 0-8 Bethany travels to face 1-7 Teal at Alumni Stadium at 1 p.m. The longtime league foes face off for the 81st time since 1917. Teal has won 3 straight in the series, including edging the Bison 30-23 in West Virginia last year. Bethany head coach Brandon Robinson talks about working to get his program rewarded with a win this weekend.
I mean, it would be huge. I mean, obviously you can't put into words how hard things have been, and then that have an opportunity to get a win. And I can only imagine, we've been through that before, last year with the breakthrough when we went to St. Vincent. So it's a huge relief. And I mean, it would be huge for our program. It'd be huge for our young men just from a day in, day out motivation and seeing some payoff.
Finally, 3-5 Hiram travels to face 5-3 Westminster at Bury Stadium in New Wilmington at 1 p.m. The Titans are 15-3-1 all-time against the Terriers and meet their new conference opponent for the first time since 2016, when Westminster recorded a 40-0 shutout victory. That's all for this edition of the PAC Football Report. Log on to the conference website at www.pacathletics.org all season long for the latest news, scores, statistics, and other league information. You can also follow us on social media via X, Facebook, and Instagram. Links are available at the PAC website. I'm Joe Underko. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you at the stadium.
Valvoline Express, Karen Car Wash of Grove City. Drive in, drive out, it's that easy.
Ken Frenchak here at the Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. Experience. We're all about experience. The experience of our expert quick lube techs and also the experience we provide you with every oil change. You can go anywhere for an oil change, but you come here to the Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City for the experience. Drive in, drive out. It's that easy. The Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City.
Founded in 1955, the President's Athletic Conference is regarded as one of the elite NCAA Division III conferences in the nation. Comprised of 12 private institutions and one associate member, the PAC thrives in athletics and academics. Now sponsoring 24 varsity sports, the PAC remains unique in this day of high-pressure college athletics, with academics at the core of every program. With over 300 academic All-Americans and over 1,400 academic honor roll recipients with a 3.6 GPA or higher in the past year alone. Our student athletes excel in athletics as well as the classroom. Want to learn more? Visit us at pacathletics.org or follow us on social media.
Welcome back to the Andrew DiDonato Show here on the Wolverines Sports Network. Brian Briggs here along with Grove City College head football coach Andrew DiDonato. Coach DiDonato getting ready to coach game number 100.
Oh, wow.
So this is the 100th time that we've done this.
Wow. I didn't realize that.
I had remembered it earlier in the week and then remembered it right now. But thinking back on the very first one, then during the COVID year, I think we were like in opposite rooms with about a 50-foot mic cable or whatever.
Wow.
But we're here today in Coach's office recording the 100th edition of the Andrew DiDonato Show and the 20th edition brought to you by our great sponsor, Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash in Grove City, thanks to Ken Frenchak and the guys down on North Broad Street. Coach, Case Western Reserve, a team, they've had quite the season this year. The first 2 weeks of the year, game number 1 was at Rowan, a game that ended up being halted by lightning in the third quarter, never resumed. It was called a tie for NCAA statistical purposes. The next week, then Case went the other direction out to Western Indiana to Wabash, and guess what? Lightning again. They had to finish the game at the local high school because they had lights there, and Wabash doesn't have lights. They've had injuries. They've had to shuffle guys around. 8 different men have attempted a pass this year, but all in all, this Case Western team has managed to remain more than competitive. They're again another very strong outfit in spite of a lot of lineup changes, not just from last year to this year, but even throughout the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's Case. Case is such a solid program. Their staff has been together a long, long time. Not just Coach Devilak, but both coordinators. They have a clear identity. They're well coached. That's why they're a top team in the PAC every single year. And by the time we play them, I'm like, yep, they're same old Case. And I say that with the utmost respect and positivity. They're just a sound football team in all phases, and especially at home. You know, when you got to travel down to Cleveland, I think they have an amazing venue down there, and they play well there. So we are excited for the challenge and the opportunity.
Starting on offense and looking at the rushing attack, you know, their leader in rushing has 383 yards through 8 games. That's 48 yards a game. It's quarterback Sam DiTilio. So, of course, the immediate thing is to think, well, they're not running the ball well. But then you look, they're averaging 163 yards a game, 4.7 yards. It is, I know one of the things we talk about, each of us needs all of us, and Case Western ground game has been each of them needs all of them. They've had a lot of guys making contributions, and it's paying off.
Yeah, that's something Case has always done. If they have multiple guys, they play them all. and they use them all. And right now they have a lot of guys that are very similar. They're all good running backs. They're just similar, so they're using all of them. And obviously Sam is where everything starts and finishes for them. They have a true dual threat quarterback. He obviously is their leading rusher, runs the ball extremely well, throws it well. You know, Case has had two different style of offenses. I mean, they've always been dominant, but they had an all-conference quarterback when I first got here that was a dual threat guy, and then they morphed it into more of a drop-back guy, and they still had a top offense, and now they're kind of back to the system they did with the more dual threat guy. And so it's my point in sharing that is they even though he's a first-year starter, they've had a really good system in place. They utilize him well, when to run him, when not to. And I think that's why they, are a top rushing team in the league.
DeTilio, 383 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns. Stefan Lopez and Andy Kavsik doing the bulk of the running from the running back spot. They've combined for 417 yards and 7 scores. DeTilio, a dozen touchdowns, 1,468 passing yards this year. And, again, a bevy of targets as well. 5 receivers with 14 or more catches, nobody with more than 27. You know, I'm sure it's nice sometimes to have that number one receiver, but on the other hand, to have the share of the wealth makes it hard to really concentrate from a defensive standpoint on one guy, right?
Yeah, it's kind of unique all around, both pass game and run game. There's nobody to feature on. It's any back, any receiver, any given day, which really, you just got to be sound and in position. And like I said, there's nothing. Sometimes it does, like you said, it's make it easier if you just say, hey, we're going to take away their number one threat and force their number two to beat us, or we're going to take away their run game, force their pass game to beat us here. They are the definition of a balanced offense in all ways. So that poses a different challenge that I know our defense will be ready for.
The offensive line, a veteran group, 3 seniors, a grad student, Gus Salopek at left tackle, 6'5", 275, helping anchor that line, and then Zach Miller, 6'6", 290, a senior at right guard. This is a big, strong, physical, and relatively experienced offensive line.
Yeah, it's one of the things that really consistently good programs have is solid line play, and that is Case. And obviously, for a team that like us, in some places was hit hard by graduation, offensive line was not one of those areas, which is a really good place to start. I just think they have a lot of experience there, as we see with a very senior graduate student-led group. They're big, they're physical, very physical run blockers, but very good in the pass, very smart as well. They've had a lot of blitzes thrown at them. They pick it up well. So a very good unit, which allows them to Sam to do anything he wants behind them.
Defensively, they've traditionally been a 3-4. Are they still staying with that?
They are. Last year, though, they went more even front against us. It's I always take that as a sign of respect. I think some of the things we do, teams may play us a little bit differently than they do other opponents, so they are a very heavy odd front team when you look statistically as what they've run this year and you watch the tape. But we really do have to be prepared for everything. Like I said, last year they jumped into a 4-down front. They've jumped into a 5-down front in certain instances this year, which would maybe make sense for some of the packages we do as well. So we have to prepare for everything. But say one thing about their defense: they do have a clear identity. They know what they're trying to accomplish. I do think sometimes it's harder to go against a team that what they're going to be in, but they're just really good at it, versus a team that does everything, because there's going to be some breakdowns. There ain't going to be no breakdowns with this defense, and I think that's the challenge that they're going to pose to our offense.
Defensive end Joseph Swarm, a great name for a pass rusher. The senior, 6.5 sacks this year, 9.5 tackles for loss, couple of forced fumbles. Obviously a guy that he can ruin a team's day in a hurry.
Yeah, I mean, anytime at this point in the season you're leading a great conference or towards the top in any statistical category, we're going to take notice of it. And those two are the big ones. Sacks, tackle for loss has a great first step, a great ability to get to the quarterback, and he's a guy we're going to have to keep an eye on every time we step back to throw the ball.
Up front, they're a little bit lighter than they've been in the past. Normally when you think of a 3-man line, you think of usually 3 big guys. And Cases often had 3 big guys, but Swarm at 205, the other end Sean Riley 215, Jack Tierney, the nose tackle, 255. Have they adjusted? Are they playing are they doing some things different technique-wise to maybe be more speed and quickness based?
Yeah, they are. It's interesting, and this is what's so neat. Just watching them on tape, and I think how they do so well coaching-wise is, same idea, same blitzes, same front, but instead of maybe playing through the center, for example, we're going to spike into the gap, so it's the same idea in theory of when you first look at it. Yeah, that looks like the same coverage. Yeah, that looks like the same blitz, but the technique's completely different. So, sometimes when people have a change in personnel, it changes their scheme, it changes their play call, it changes their structure. No. Same odd front, same type of blitz, but they just emphasize changing the technique to fit the specific player, and that's probably the biggest difference. And we've seen that they've had a similar staff my last 10 years here, and based off the personnel, if they're going to play through you, if they're going to slant into the gap, that's what they change, and that's how they've gone about adjusting with this group.
The secondary led by senior quarterback Osi Chukwuocha, a returning starter, one of a handful of returning starters on defense for the Spartans. Sophomore safety Jake Kavzik, 3 interceptions this year. He's also played a little bit on offense. Then Mason Mell, the free safety, with 33 tackles. A group that they have nice size back there, a lot of experience, and as you noted, you're not going to get many blown coverages back there.
Yeah, they clearly have a first-team all-caliber corner. Obviously, a multi-year starter. We've been going against him the last couple of years. He's as good as you'll play. He's great, and they'll put him everywhere. There's times where he's playing primarily boundary, sometimes field, sometimes on a team's best receiver. So they do a really great job of putting him in the position. That's going to be interesting to see where are they going to put him for us. We got to be aware of that because he can change a game quickly, just can make a big play. And yeah, I think one of the things just with their secondary as a whole is you will not put the film on and see any coverage breakdowns. They are just so solid and sound in what they do. And that's something that we just got to trust what they're playing, trust what they're giving us, and take it. And that's the biggest thing we're going to have to do against this secondary.
Case Western Reserve's always been known for its special teams as well, and the kicker, Gabe Petrozzi, this year leads the team in scoring 54 points. He's perfect on extra points, 36 of 36, 6 of 8 on field goals, a long of 50. He's taken over as the kickoff guy as well, 19 touchbacks this year. He's as good as it gets at our level.
Yeah, you're going to see as good of a battle of specialists as you'll ever find. We have obviously Brady, I feel, is playing. Forget that he's a freshman. My goodness, he is playing at such a high level, both kicking and punting. It's just been fun to watch, and they have one of the best in the league as well. So that's going to be quite the matchup to watch. As those two, who can get more touchbacks and who's going to make the longer field goal. That's going to be a fun one to see.
Both coaches winning the touchbacks on kickoffs, not punts.
Correct.
Certainly.
Yes, exactly.
Obviously, when there's certainly been some weeks where the Wolverines have had a decided edge at kicker and punter. This week, obviously, with we mentioned Petrozzi and then Nick Delfau, the punter, who's averaging 39 yards a punt. He's put 7 inside the opponent's 20 this year. Probably more or less, I guess you'd say, a push. I'm sure that even creates an even greater emphasis, already a strong emphasis on the kicking game, returns, coverage, etc. But knowing that how good the other guys are and how much attention to detail that they put into it, I'm sure that the special teams in a game like this become of even greater importance.
Yeah, when you get to the top half of the league, it does remind you of that football is 3 phases, and these games a lot of times are decided by special teams. They really are in the field position battle. And if a team makes an impact play on special teams, they're going to most likely win the football game. And yeah, this is where if you're going to consistently play in the top of the league and you want to be a national team, you have to have a guy like Brady Lane that can, put you at an advantage in most games, and then it's against a team that is an elite special teams unit. Well, now it's going to be, a great battle, but you can't have a disadvantaged in those positions. And fortunately, we don't. We have a great one. They have a great one, and I think that's going to make for a great game within the game that people can watch as how that battle shakes out.
The Wolverines are 6-2 overall, 2 regular season games left, and of course, the NPI index out there, and that NPI index, I guess that's repetitive or whatever. I is the index, but for people wondering what that is, it's the tool used to rank the teams for NCAA Division III playoff consideration. Right now, the Wolverines are in the low 40s, which has them in contention for a potential at-large selection if things work out. By that, the Wolverines would have to win the last 2, and then some other things across the country. such as Cortland continuing to win, etc. We won't bore people with the details. All that information, it's not proprietary. It's out there. It's public. Anybody can look at it. And there's also talk of, well, if the playoffs, there's still, bowl opportunities, etc. How do you balance that as a coach, just individually, even from your focus and with the staff and the team, while realizing that don't get a win Saturday, that all becomes a lot of hot air. Have you talked to the guys about it at all? To try and remind them to keep focused on this and not worry about all that? Or because we're in an era where information's everywhere, and I'm sure a lot of people are saying, hey, win these, you're going to the playoffs. Well, we don't know that for sure. How do you handle that? Because this is a new situation. 2 years ago, Wolverines were in good shape. You knew you win this one, you're in. Last year at 7-1, 8-1, 9-1, you knew that the Wolverines were in really good shape. 6-2 is not a bad spot to be, especially having won 5 in a row, but all of that out there and everybody talking, and of course there's all these simulators and stuff out there which are really cool, but I'm sure you get down in a rabbit hole in a hurry. How do you handle that as a coach?
I'm very aware. I've maybe alluded to it, haven't talked about it directly, but it's why we have a vision that says compete for PAC and national championships, because I believe in life you have to live in paradox, and obviously this goes back to my faith in that you can't ignore circumstances as if they're not there. I mean, because they are. But you have to do is be aware of the circumstance and then yet be so focused and locked in on what you're supposed to do within the circumstance. And you just have to. That's how you got to handle life. So, I've alluded to the guys, like if last several weeks, we're in position that if we win out, whatever it is, I think we're going to set ourselves up for a fun postseason experience. So I didn't go into great detail of what that all means, but just be aware of that, because when you have seniors who've been to the postseason every year and have been excited, you want to be there. So let's be aware of that. That's important. Like, I know it's important to you. And at the same time, good to Grady Trepp want to know each week that, when we were a team 1-2, when we exited the month of September, I mean, you can't focus on anything else other than how do we win a football game. And we've been able to do that 5 times in a row. So, no, I mean, we played this. We were playing right now from a football standpoint, yes, to get ourselves into the best position possible to get the best postseason experience we can have, because that's been a very enjoyable last 6 years of doing that. Now, within that, it's about good to Grady Trepp 1-0 each week. How do we just get a good to great on each rep? And you got to live in that paradox. I challenge our guys to live in that paradox. Do it in football, do it in life. So we are fully aware, and we got a very tough opponent just to take care of business this week to continue to put ourselves in the best position possible. And I know our guys are going to be locked in to just focus on this one.
For us to repeat this conversation next week, which would mean a victory at Case Western Reserve, a very strong team, especially at home, what are some keys for the Wolverines to go to Cleveland and defeat the Spartans?
They're a hard team to run on. We're going to need to. So, number one, we got to find ways to get the run game going. We're going to commit to it, and that's going to be number one. And then, like last week, I think have a similar experience where we're able to make some plays down the field in the pass game and just get completions as well. So I think we're going to obviously run the football, but we're going to have to be able to do both. And the momentum I think that we potentially have built from last week, that's what we got to continue to do in the pass game if we're going to have a successful day offensively. Our defense, we got to completely eliminate their quarterback. Number one, we always take away teams' run game. They're averaging a very high total per game. Take away their run and no explosives in the pass. That's what we do. And then a tough challenge, but win the field position battle. I think if we run the ball, make some plays in the pass, take away the run, limit the explosive in their pass, and win the field position battle, that's how you win in Cleveland.
Coach, always a pleasure. Thank you for your time. We will do this for the 101st time next week when the Wolverines go back to Ohio, over to Hiram for the first time in 22 years. Coach, best of luck. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Breezy.
You've been listening to the Andrew DiDonato Show on the Wolverines Sports Network. This week's show, as always, brought to you by Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash in Grove City. We'll take a break. When we come back, Mark Means and I will have the call from DeSanto Field in Cleveland. It's Case Western Reserve and Grove City, and it comes up next on the home of the Wolverines.
Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. Drive in, drive out, it's that easy. We'll check your oil, check your fluids, and get you clean. Fast, friendly service for cars, trucks, and SUVs. Wiper blades or filters, check your tire pressure. Locally owned, that's unnecessary. Valvoline Express, carrying car wash of Grove City. Drive in, drive out, it's that easy.
Ken Frenchak here at the Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. Experience. We're all about experience. The experience of our expert quick lube techs and also the experience we provide you with every oil change. You can go anywhere for an oil change, but you come here to the Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City for the experience. Drive in, drive out, it's that easy. The Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City.
Valvoline Express, carrying car wash of Grove City. Drive in, drive out, it's that easy.
From DeSanto Field in Cleveland, Ohio, the Wolverines Sports Network presents Grove City College football. The Wolverines on the road to take on the Case Western Reserve Spartans in a key matchup in the President's Athletic Conference this afternoon. Mark Means, Ryan Briggs, high atop DeSanto Field. And Ryan, this is a big one this afternoon.
It certainly is. Grove City still, as we talked with Coach DiDonato, outside shot for an at-large berth in the playoffs. Of course, still mathematically live in the conference race. By that token, Case Western is still mathematically live to get a share of the conference title. Spartans would need a lot of help, but the bottom line is both teams need a win today. Should be a good one. Case Western Reserve, week in, week out, year in, year out. Always a tough program, well coached, disciplined. These are the two least penalized teams in the league, Mark. Case, number one in fewest penalties. Grove City, number one in fewest penalty yards. The other team is second in that respective categories. Certainly, just you think of this day today. It's kind of damp, cloudy. It feels like an old school type of game where it's going to be field position, running the football, those types of things. I think in a case where you have two teams that make very few mistakes, be it turnovers and penalties, a key penalty or a key turnover could be the difference between who comes out on top and who's on the other end.
We talk about the Spartans. You have to talk about their starting quarterback, and Sam Datillo, the junior, just under 1,500 yards passing, 12 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. And then you throw in the fact he is this team's leading rusher as well, with 383 yards and 5 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, Datillo, as you mentioned, leading rusher, and Case is going to use a lot of guys to run the ball. Case, Datillo, 383 yards. It's not a big total through 8 games, but this team averages over 160 rushing yards per game. They will use a lot of guys, 4 or 5 running backs, the quarterback. You can see a reverse and end around too. Case Western, they're not going to get cute per se, but they do have some wrinkles. But speaking of offense, we're going to see the Grove City offense first as Case Western Reserve won the toss, deferred, and the Wolverines will have it. And to tell you all about it, here's Mark Means.
It'll be Gabriel Petrozzi to do the kicking for the Spartans as we are set for week 9 of the President's Athletic Conference schedule. On a cloudy, overcast day from DeSanto Field, a temperature in the low 50s, or just a good fall afternoon for college football.
You come to Cleveland in early November, it could be worse.
And it may be when Monday comes around in this part of the state of Ohio. So you got 2 men back deep to return this kick for the Wolverines. That looks like Rankin and Epps back to return the kick. And we are underway here this afternoon. It's going to be into the end zone and out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So no return for the Wolverines on the opening kick.
Yeah, we have 2 of the best kickers in the league, bar none, with the Grove City's Brady Lay and then, of course, Petrozzi, who's the leading scorer for Case Western Reserve, and he demonstrated right there, and the Wolverines will take over at the 25-yard line. We've seen what Cam Epps has been able to do in the return game in recent weeks, and Case Western Reserve aware of that, and best way to keep him from burning you is to kick it that far, and that's exactly what the Spartans did.
Ethan Wiley getting the start out of Mercer, 408 yards through the air, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Chase Rankin, the junior, second leading rusher on the team, will get the start at the tailback spot. Wiley overlooks the defense. He'll give the ball to Rankin on first down, trying to run off the outside. And it's going to be no gain on the play for Rankin. Set up a 2nd down and 10.
One thing today, Case Western Reserve without its leading tackler, Daniel King, senior linebacker. That is a big absence in the middle. Of course, Grove City on the other side without Ben Blado at linebacker, so two of the top linebackers in the league out today. But this Case defense, they're a very disciplined unit. Rarely do you see blown coverages or guys out of their gap responsibilities. We saw it right there, no gain.
Two receivers, one to the right, one to the left. Wiley will throw on second down and 10. Fires downfield, pass caught across the 35 and down near the 37-yard line. That is a first down on the reception from Seth McGroarty. And for McGroarty, that is his 16th catch of the year.
McGroarty back in the starting lineup again this week, and just on the skinny post. Good throw from Wiley. We know one thing about Ethan Wiley. He can cut it loose. Strong arm. I would say, the old days I'd say a rifleman back there, and that's Ethan Wiley. He's an old-style quarterback. He's a gunslinger back there, and he let it rip, and the Wolverines get their first down.
Burnett and Hoddle in the backfield as Ian Demary gets his first carry of the afternoon, and Demary down to the 39-yard line. He'll pick up a couple, setting up second down and 8.
Grove City going to that heavy package, as you mentioned, with Dustin Hoddle and Ian Quinn, 6th lineman out there for Grove City. And again, this is you always want to get a nice gain, 5-6 in the ground, whatever. But we've seen over the course of time that cumulative effect, that physical ground game. These 2-yard gains in the first quarter, those turn into the 5, 6, 8-yarders as the game goes on.
Lights coming on here at DeSanto Field. A 2nd and 8 for the Wolverines. Wiley to throw it. Standing in the pocket, taking a shot from McGroarty downfield and just through his hands and incomplete at the 25-yard line. Sets up a 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, Wolverines, they had the heavy package out there. The extra lineman, extra fullback. It was a one-man route. It was one-on-one with McGroarty going against, he wears number 1, Case Western cornerback Tyler Ficus wearing number 1 as well. Good coverage downfield. Wiley, was a pretty good throw. McGroarty got twisted around just a bit and it lands incomplete.
3rd down and 8. Ball on the 39-yard line. Wolverines left to right here in this opening quarter. Go trips to the left, single receiver to the right side. Wiley to throw, stands in the pocket, fires middle. Rankin makes the catch. And Rankin is going to be down to the 44-yard line, setting up a 4th down for the Wolverines.
Yeah, we've not seen too many of the checkdowns this year, but the Wolverines now will send the punt unit out. Rankin circling out of the backfield, and a good open field tackle by the Spartan defense. And Grove City promising drive stalls out at midfield, and it'll be Brady Lane on to punt.
Lane averaging about 37 yards per kick with a long of 60 on the season.
25 fair catches. Key number.
Lambert to snap it, right back to him. Lane gets his foot into this one, high, spiraling kick. Fair catch called for and made on the run at about the 24-yard line. And they'll mark it at the 25. That's where the Spartans start off for their first possession, right to left. Quarterback is junior Sam DiTilio, 1,468 yards, 12 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Mixing in about another 400 yards on the ground and 5 touchdowns. They'll start with 1 receiver to the right and a 2 to the left side, a wing to the right side, with Lopez the tailback, with DiTilio in the backfield. Play clock now down under 20 seconds. Lopez going to move to the outside. They're going to pitch it to him as he turns the corner. Broke a couple tackles, got across the 30, and down near the 32-yard line on the pitch to Stefan Lopez.
Yeah, the option that time, DiTilio, he went out, just it was quarterback. Do I keep or pitch? Jordan Karcheski, the end, had the quarterback. Quarterback pitched it out. The pursuit was cut down by the receiver. The contain, I should say, on the far side by the receiver. And nice gain on first down for Case out to the 32-yard line.
2nd down and 3. Again, 1 receiver to the right, 2 to the left side. This time it'll be a wing to the left. Lopez now moving to the right side. DiTilio's going to pitch it to Lopez. Turns the corner, has the first down across the 40 and down to the 41-yard line.
Yep, same play, going to the short side of the field. Karcheski, the end, is there, but the pitch responsibility late getting there. Wolverines outflanked, and it's a first down for Case Western Reserve. So going to the option twice, and it's resulted in 17 yards on the ground.
1st and 10 from the Spartan 40-yard line. Clements showing some pressure now. He'll back off and drop out. Detilio going to move Lopez again to the right side. He'll take the snap. He's going to run with the football off the short side. He'll get to the 45 before being driven back by a group of Wolverine defenders, led that time by Caleb Brubaker.
A lot of times when on the Wolverine offense, they have the two fullbacks in, you'll be Anthony Brunette kicking out, Dustin Hoddle following through, or vice versa. That time, Case, instead of handing to a running back, Lopez was one of the guys kicking out, and then following through was the tight end, Jack Breyer. So same concept, different wrinkle on it, but the Wolverines sniff it out and holding the dangerous Detilio to a 2-yard gain.
So 2nd down and 8 for the Spartans. Detilio, overlooking the Wolverine defense, will drop to throw for the first time. That pass is going to be short and incomplete as he was looking for his receiver, Dylan Cave. And that'll fall incomplete and bring up a 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, I don't know if it came out of his hand funny, but that as soon as you let it go, you could tell that had no chance. And, perhaps the ball a little bit slick. He's not wearing any gloves and just did not get a good release. And Grove City ended up having been in a similar situation, 3rd and 8, didn't convert. See what Case does here.
Mitchell Waite is in at the tailback spot wearing number 2. Detilio looking to throw, dumps that ball to the outside, and that pass is going to be caught just shy of the 50-yard line. This is going to bring up 4th down and 3 for the Spartans, and the punting unit is coming on.
Yeah, they went to the RPO, run-pass option, but Wolverines able to stiff it out. Nice open field tackle. Keegan Frazier coming downhill. Detilio, he was close to the line. He wasn't over it, but he pushed that envelope. And the Wolverines, a similar drive for Case compared to Grove City. Promising start, stalls out near midfield.
Del Powell to punt. Freshman gets his foot into this one. A wobbly kick that is going to be caught at the 10, brought back by Bowden Davidson across the 15, and he'll be down near the 17-yard line on that return.
Yeah, Bowden was just a little hesitant. I think we've seen him fair catching a lot, but he fielded that one, and I think he was like, oh, yeah, I got to go. But nice job back there. It was a key. The most important thing he did there, and this is going to sound silly, is he caught it. Obviously, that's, you have to catch it because if you don't, it could be a fumble if he touches it, whatever. But getting the ball out close to the 20, it's actually at the 20. If he lets it go, probably the Wolverines are going to be starting inside the 10, maybe even about the 5 or 4. His case was down there, but heady decision by Davidson. That hidden yardage there doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but probably worth a 1st down.
Play action for Wiley on 1st down, and McGordy can't come up with that football as he hopped in the air. He had the leverage on the corner should he have been able to make that catch to turn for some big yards.
Oh, he had him. He had got himself open, was ready to head upfield, but as you said, it just took his eyes off it. And 2nd and 10 would have been a 1st down and probably a bundle more for the Wolverines.
Demary the tailback, Wiley is the quarterback. Single receiver sets McGordy to the left and Sullivan to the right side. 2nd down and 10 from the Grove City 20-yard line. No score, 9:17 to play in this opening quarter. Wiley to throw it, standing in the pocket. Going to take a shot from McGordy, one-on-one. This time the ball knocked away at the last second as it's Tyler Ficus in coverage. A pair of ones downfield, and Wolverines trying to stretch the field early.
Yeah, and good job by Ficus there. Got the hand in there at the last moment. And obviously the Wolverines like that matchup. It's the third ball in McGordy's direction already. Actually, 4th one. A couple of deep shots that have been close. You have to think at some point the Wolverines are going to hit one of those, but now 3rd and 10 from the 20. You don't want to have a 3-and-out and give it back to Case. The Spartans, early on, they have you'd say a slight edge in this field position battle.
Trips to the left, single receiver right side. Wiley dropping to throw for the 6th time. Had McGordy open and just it sailed over his head and incomplete, and brings up 4th down for the Wolverines.
Said that the Case Western Reserve doesn't often have blown coverages. There was one there because McGordy was running open down the field 10 yards beyond the cornerback, but that pass was about 10 yards beyond him, and it's a 3-and-out, and the Grove City punt team comes back onto the field.
So Lane to punt, 31 yards on his last kick. This one, he'll stand at his own 5-yard line. Play clock now down under 10 seconds. Lane gets his foot into this one. Wobbly kick that he will run up on it and make a fair catch. And that will be spotted just inside Spartan territory at the 48-yard line.
And Case essentially taking over where they punted away from on the 4th and 3 last time. And, a big edge. Again, the field position tilting in the exchange of punts. Now here's Case taking over just shy of midfield. This is that spot in the field, too, where DeTilio's been doing a lot of running. Maybe it's the case where he fakes an option, steps back, and cuts one loose deep. Wolverines... you don't want to get. You have to respect DeTilio's running abilities certainly, but this feels like a shock opportunity for Case Western Reserve.
DeTilio takes the snap, pump fakes, going to take a shot downfield. Receiver is out there and able to get behind the coverage and make the catch. Dylan Cave on the reception for the Spartans.
Yeah, and you saw the pump fake from DeTilio. Cave was able to shake the cornerback, made the nice catch along the sideline down to the 20. And pick up of 32, and now Case Western Reserve certainly in scoring range with Petrozzi, and Spartans taking advantage of the good field position, and then a big gainer on first down, whereas the Wolverines were unable to cash in on their deep throw downfield.
Trips to the right, single receiver. Again, that's Dylan Cave, who had his team leading a 28th catch on that last reception. Lopez back in the backfield. Going to run an option play, pitch it to Lopez, running towards the short side, and he's going to be tracked down from behind by Jack Jolly, making another stop on his senior season.
Jolly, the inside linebacker, going outside. He had the pitch responsibility that time. Nick Clemens, the outside linebacker who blitzed, he took the quarterback, forced DeTilio to pitch it a little sooner than he would have liked, and then Jolly able to range out there and make the tackle.
8 of 3, second down and 7. We go under 8 minutes to play in a scoreless first quarter. DeTilio to throw. Stepping up in the pocket, feeling some pressure. He's going to be wrapped up and go down just inside the 20-yard line, right near the line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 7.
Yeah, they might cut that the sack 4 ways. Kellen Taylor there, Nick Clemens, Dave Cower, and then Jack Jolly. Not sure who will get the official credit, but they were all in there, and they all get a piece of DeTilio. And it's a loss of about probably the length of the football. Now 3rd down and 8 upcoming for the Spartans.
7:20 to play here in the opening quarter. Spartans will go with 2 receivers split out wide to the right. Going to stack 2 to the left side. Lopez remains the tailback with DeTilio. He will drop to throw. Feeling some pressure. He's going to be sacked as coming clean was Caleb Brubaker, now with 5.5 sacks on his senior season.
Caleb Brubaker has really been coming on. He had a great year last year and a great first half to his senior year. But as you go into this last few weeks of the regular season, he has taken it up several notches, and now this field goal becomes a 43-yarder for Petrozzi in his field goal range. But that loss of about 8 on the sack makes this a much more difficult attempt.
6 of 8 with a long of 50 on the season for Petrozzi. High snap, gets his foot into this kick that is going to be knuckling towards the uprights, and no good. Just didn't have enough behind it in the last few seconds.
Yeah, and we noticed it too with the Brady Lane punt. The ball was not carrying at all today, and you saw that kick there. Petrozzi, you mentioned long of 50. He has the leg, but that ball, we look at the flags. They're not moving, but whatever it is, whether it's the atmospheric conditions, that ball simply had no carry at all. When he hit it, I thought that's got a chance, and it just ran out of steam. Good job by the Wolverine defense. The back-to-back sacks. They'll take over to 26.
Wiley and the Wolverines with the football. It's Chase Rankin now at the tailback spot. Wiley going to take this snap. He will give the ball to Rankin, running it up the middle. And Rankin's only going to get about a yard, maybe 2 out of that carry, setting up 2nd down and 8.
Jack Tierney, the 255-pound nose tackle, right there. This is not a big front for Case Western Reserve. When you think oftentimes a 3-man front, you think 3 big guys. Grove City has 3 big guys in Taylor, Karcheski, and Cower starting. But and Case has had that in the past too. But Riley and Swarm a little bit undersized, but they are lightning quick at end. And what they may not have necessarily in terms of just bulk, they are very quick. They're strong certainly, and they present problems. And then it's anchored by Tierney at nose tackle.
McGordy to the left, Sullivan to the right as Wiley drops to throw. Going to take a shot again, looking for McGroarty downfield. There was contact, no flag, and the ball falls incomplete.
Yeah, ball a little bit underthrown. Fickus, good coverage there. Also the strong safety, Jake Kavsik, rotating over as well. And that's, again, the third deep shot already the Wolverines have taken. And so far 0 for 3, but I think they will continue because they're going to hit one. You know they're going to hit one. Wiley has the arm strength. And McGroarty, obviously his ability to go get the deep ball has been demonstrated over the last couple of seasons. But so far, Fickus has passed the test. Of course, the cornerback on the other side, Osi Chukwuocha, one of the top cornerbacks in this region.
Going to go trips to the left. Wiley dropping to throw. Stepping up, pressured, and Wiley's going to get sacked as the defender came clean and was able to break free and drop Ethan Wiley in the backfield.
Bedinga Kapapi, who's a pass rushing specialist, comes in third down situations, and he drops him for the sack, his 4th of the year.
So Lane will come on to punt the football away. Standing at his own 5-yard line. I feel like I've said that before in this first quarter. Snap back to Lane from Lambert is a good one. Lane, this one a bit of a low line drive kick that is going to roll out of bounds, and there'll be no return by the Spartan special team unit.
But the drive will start at the Case Western 48. I think we've said that before as well, too. And, clearly, again, we're 10-plus minutes into this one, but Case Western has certainly won the field position battle, and Grove City defense is, so as we've talked, is an outstanding unit. But it's a lot easier to defend 80 yards than it is to defend 50. And right now, Case Western Reserve, good field position, excellent field position, in fact, to begin this possession.
Tilio, the junior quarterback out of Avon, Ohio, leading this Spartan offense. They'll go with one receiver to the right, trips to the left side. Going to turn, hand the ball off to a new tailback who's in the backfield for the Spartans, and he's going to be bottled up at the 50 after just a gain of a couple on that first down run.
Yeah, going with Joel Hancock, the first-year running back on the stretch play. Going from the far hash mark to the near side, a slow developing play. Grove City defense stringing it out, and a gain of 2 to midfield. I think he was looking for the cutback lane, and it wasn't there. Wolverines defended it well. Good gap defense. Wolverines, every man did his job.
Lopez now back at the tailback spot. Twins to each side for DeTilio. 2nd down and 8 from midfield. Tries to set up the receiver screen. The receiver made the catch. That's Dylan Kay with his 2nd reception, and not much running room for him after the reception.
How about the big guy, Jordan Karcheski, out from his defensive end spot to make the tackle to track down a receiver for a 1-yard gain. Jordan 6'4", 265, but showing that very good lateral speed and quickness out there. I mean, he's just a mountain of a young man, big, strong, but showing some pretty good quicks out there too.
Trips to the right, single receiver left side. DeTilio claps. He'll drop deep to throw. Stands in the pocket, being pressured. That's Nick Clemens who steps up and makes the sack to bring up 4th down.
Another sack for the Wolverines on 3rd down. Nick Clemens from the backside. And Wolverines getting to DeTilio with 4. That's key as well. If you can get any level of football, if you can get to the quarterback with 4 guys, you're going to have some fun defensively. The Wolverines do it there. Nick Clemens racking up another sack as he continues his very strong rookie season.
Give him 2.5 sacks on the year for the freshman. Bowden Davidson back to return this punt. High spiraling kick. Davidson's going to let this ball roll, and it's going to check up out of bounds. And we're going to spot it right at the 10-yard line. So the Wolverines will exchange possessions with the Spartans. They'll take this drive over at their own 10-yard line with 2:53 to play here in a scoreless first quarter, where the punters have kind of taken center stage.
Yeah, the punters have earned their letter today, I think, already. But nice again, another nice punt by Case Western's Delphau. Freshman punters as well, lane for Grove City and Delphau, and he has the Wolverines pinned back at the 10-yard line.
Wiley and the Wolverines coming out on offense. That is Ian Demiri at the tailback spot. Wiley takes the snap. He looks to throw. Fires underneath. Ball deflected off the hands of McGroarty. and incomplete. Wiley fired that into 3 blue jerseys and just did get away with that throw.
Yeah, that was certainly a high-risk throw. There were a lot of, as you said, 3 case defenders in the area, a lot of hands there. So second down and 10. Fortunately for the Wolverines, an incompletion. That balls tipped and hang up in the air over the middle. They often can be intercepted. Fortunately, it was not. Imperative, the Wolverines need a first down. I know that sounds so 101, so basic, but they have to get out of this hole. Just get away from the goal line.
Wiley takes the snap. He'll fire over the middle. This time pass caught down to the 15-yard line. That's Seth McGorty with the reception, setting up a 3rd and 5. Down to 2.5 minutes to play in this opening quarter that remains scoreless. Wolverines facing a 3rd and 5 from their own 15-yard line. See Sam Penna checking in a slot position to the right side, and the Spartans are going to need themselves a timeout. 2:17 to play in the opening quarter. We have no score, and you're listening to the Wolverines Sports Network.
Express Karen Car Wash of Grove City. Drive in, drive out, it's that easy. Check your oil, check your fluids, and get you clean. Fast, friendly service for cars, trucks, and SUVs. Wiper blades or filters, check your tire pressure. Locally owned, nationally known.
Ken Frenchak here from the Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. Fall. Leaves are changing. Why not get a jump start on the season and get the oil changed in your vehicle? We have your grade of Valvoline oil regardless of your gas or diesel engine. We stock most air filters and windshield wiper blades. So don't forget, we offer 2 automatic car washes along with 2 self-serve bays. Stop by to have your car run and look great. You can go anywhere for an oil change, but you come to us for the experience.
Valvoline Express Karen Car Wash of Grove City. Drive in, drive out, it's that easy.
Wiley going to throw it on a 3rd down, firing downfield, a slant complete to Daniel Sullivan, and the Wolverines will move the chains.
And that time, Sullivan was matched up on Fickus on the near side, and good pass, good route by Sully. Wolverines get the first down out across the 20 to the 22-yard line, and a much-needed first down. Number one, from a confidence standpoint, and also just the game flow. You know, let the defense regroup a little bit instead of another 3 and out, and first down out to the 22, and a lot of beef out there for the Wolverine offense again. 2 fullbacks and Ian Quinn as the 6th lineman.
DeMary is the tailback. Wiley to throw, looks for McGorty, made that catch across the 30, and he's going to be shoestring tackled from behind for an 11-yard gain and a Wolverine first down.
That moment there, you remember when you watch Price is Right when you were sick from school or snow day and you watch Plinko and the chip would hang on the peg? Is it going to go to the 0 or the 5,000? That's what it was for Fickus there. He was that close to having a pick 6. He didn't get there. McGorty makes the catch and first down for the Wolverines.
I definitely remember those days.
Now the young people don't get snow days. They have they get the computers and stuff at home.
Right, got to work from home.
That's right.
1st and 10 from the 33-yard line. Under a minute to play in a scoreless first quarter. Wiley again stands tall in the pocket, fires downfield. McGorty makes the catch at the 38-yard line, and this drive starting to find a little bit of rhythm.
Yeah, the passing game getting going, and a lot of times you think, well, you run to set up the pass. That can work the other way too. Wolverines can loosen up the offense or the defense as we see Shepard Miller checking in. So the Wolverines go back to that 2-back set that we saw a little bit last week. No, we saw about 2 or 3 plays, I think. So some different wrinkles here, but the passing game getting going, that can open up things on the ground.
Miller and DeMary, the split backs with Ethan Wiley, the senior quarterback. McGorty, lone receiver to the right side. Wiley to throw, timing ball from McGorty downfield. He got bumped in the air when the ball was flying, and the flag came in from the opposite side of the field.
Yeah, the back judge in the middle of the field throwing the flag as the Cavsick, the strong safety, came there, and he crashed into McGorty, and it's going to be 15 yards and an automatic first down. Let me pick up the crowd noise. All we got was the Case fans being salty about it, but that's a good call. It was Greg Debelak on the near sideline who he's not. He certainly is not a hothead down there, but I think he was kind of a little bit fired up about that call. But Kavsic came over and he ran into him before the ball got there, and it's first down for the Wolverines. They are across midfield.
First penalty of the afternoon for either team. Two receivers to the right, single back in the backfield. Now we've got movement up front, and that'll be Grove City's first penalty on an illegal procedure, make it 1st and 15.
Yeah, Gabe Hilty, the right guard, he came out of his stance, and so the least penalized teams in the PAC have each committed one, but Case one was a little bit more costly, 15 yards and an automatic first down. Grove City now 1st and 15, but back on the other side of the 50.
So it is Sam Penna in the slot to the right. Seth McGordy outside on the numbers on that right side. Single back in the backfield with Ethan Wiley. Wiley going to give that ball to Chase Rankin, who found a little seam over the middle. And he's going to get most of that penalty back, make it 2nd down and 10 for the Wolverines on what is the final play of today's opening quarter. We're through one quarter. We have no score between Grove City and Case Western Reserve. You are listening to the Wolverines Sports Network.
When is the best time to talk to your family about staying in touch during a disaster? When floodwaters reach your door? When wildfires are engulfing the edge of your neighborhood? Or an earthquake is destroying buildings? When a tornado is tearing through town? Or a hurricane strikes? Or is the best time perhaps today? During a disaster, you may not be able to stay in touch with your family or friends as easily as you think. And it's not always as simple as using your cell phone. That's why now is the time to take action. Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Off the quarter timeout, Wolverines with a 2nd and 10 from the 47-yard line of the Spartans. And a scoreless contest here this afternoon. Wolverines now right to left in this 2nd quarter. Going to move McGordy to the left side. Barzak now to the right side.
Wolverines aren't lined up properly.
They're going to hand the ball off to Rankin. And the flag will come out. Rankin down to the 44-yard line. But you saw that right away with the proper alignment.
Yeah, Seth McGordy was not on the line of scrimmage. He lined up as a wing, and the problem was that he was the 5th man in the backfield. And which, when you have 5 in the backfield, means you have 6 on the line. You have to have 7, so it's going to be illegal formation. And now will Case Western Reserve take the penalty or the result of the play? Take the play. So instead of 2nd and 15, it will be 3rd down and about 7. So it's one of those ones you could you kind of take either way, but 3rd and 7, that's probably what I would have done in Greg Debelak's shoes, but we'll see what the Wolverines can do here on 3rd down. Wolverines are 1 of 4 on 3rd down.
Single receiver to the right. That's Sullivan. It'll be trips to the left side with Barzak, Penna, and McGordy, the 3 wide receivers.
Keep an eye on Barzak here. Big target over the middle.
Wiley to throw. Looking over the middle. Pass deflected and intercepted at the 39-yard line. Went off the hands of the receiver. And one of the Spartans there to jump on that football for the interception.
Interception made by Jack Griffiths, the freshman linebacker, off the deflection. It hit Penna's hands. It may have also been deflected by Phil Laverty, the outside linebacker, as he got a hand in there as well. Either way, Case with the first takeaway of the game, and the Spartans have it at the at their own 39-yard line.
So DeTilio and the offense for the Spartans back out of the field with trips to the right, single receiver left side. I have a back a couple yards deep with him in the backfield. Now we'll move up to him and head into motion. DeTilio to throw. Time in the pocket. Going to take the shot one-on-one downfield. And at the last second, that ball is knocked away by Mason Klaus and incomplete. It's 2nd down and 10.
Grove City was in man coverage there. And Klaus, step for step, they were going to Bo Wolf. Wolf, it looked like he had him beat. But Klaus at 6'3", good recovery, able to get a hand in there and get his team-leading 8th pass breakup of the season. That would have been a big gainer for Case down to the Grove City 30. Instead, it's second down. Mason Klaus, one of the few new faces in the Grove City defense this year. What a year he has had. Started at free safety, now moving to the outside linebacker hybrid position. Great play by a guy that's having a great season.
Detilio sends a man in motion out of the backfield. Drops to throw. It's going to be quarterback run, and he's going to be pulled down from behind. Dave Cower with the sliding tackle after a gain of about 4. Going to bring up third down and call it 6.
Case Western Reserve motioned Biddle, the running back, out of the backfield. Jack Jolly, the inside linebacker, went with him. So what that did is it took one less guy from the box. It becomes 2 linebackers, 3 linemen against the 5 offensive linemen, a 5-on-5, but a good job by Cower to get off his block and make the tackle, make it 3rd and 7.
2 receivers to each side of the formation. Stefan Lopez is the running back. Going to put a receiver in motion. Detilio to throw. Facing some backside pressure. Sidearms one underneath, and it's dropped and incomplete at the 44-yard line, looking for Dylan Cave, and it brings up 4th down.
Good pressure by the Wolverines. You mentioned from the backside, Clemens in there. Good push from Cower as well, pushing the lineman back, and that caused the quarterback Detilio, as you said, he had sidearm, and when you drop your arm angle a little bit like that, the ball, your trajectory of the pass is not going to be what it is when you're thrown over the top. And receiver, you know, if he comes from the normal arm angle, probably a catch.
Third punt of this first half for the Spartans. This one a low knuckleball that is going to take a Grove City roll and will go out of bounds at the 32-yard line. So first 2 kicks are about 40 yards. That one much different.
Yeah, and again, we look at the flags. Old Glory off to the right now. It's picking up a little bit, but the ball's going from left to right. Seemingly have been affected in the kicking game. It's but by the same token, Petrosi's field goal going right to left came up short too. So it's obviously something, whether it's swirling, but the ball's simply not carrying today. It's like in baseball where a guy smashes one, they catch it in the warning track.
First down run with Chase Rankin. Rankin right up the middle, one of the best runs of the Wolverines so far in this first half, as he is down to the 38-yard line. It sets up a second down and a long 4.
Yeah, you are correct. That's the long run of the day, 6 yards. And now Mason Mell, the free safety for Case Western Reserve, he has tried to get up, went down, and now he is in pain. And the athletic trainers are going to check on the senior defensive back.
Mell out of Peters Township, amongst the tackles leaders with 45.
Yeah, and you look at the Case Western Reserve roster. They do a very nice job recruiting Western Pennsylvania. A lot of Pittsburgh area guys. With Case now having been an affiliate member, associate member of the PAC in football for about a decade, they really have focused in on, of course, what is a very fertile area in recruiting. You look at the Grove City roster, all the Western PA guys, and W&J, and so forth. Makes sense to recruit there, and the fact that Case is playing in a conference that's generally focused in Western Pennsylvania makes sense. Hey, come here. You get away from home, you get to, but you're in a big city. There's they have a lot to sell, and Mel, who is having a really good year, he's able to jog off on his own, and looks like he's going to be okay. But you'll definitely notice a lot of a Southwest Pennsylvania flavor up and down the Spartans roster.
Second down and 5 from the 38-yard line. Both fullbacks in there. We've seen a lot of this heavy package from the Wolverines in this first half. Rankin again will get the carry. This time he's met right at the line of scrimmage and it driven back. He's going to lose 1. This will bring up a 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, Case Western just is not allowing Grove City to get any push at all. Case Western Reserve winning at the point of attack on that play. As you said, it is a loss on that play, and now 3rd down. Wolverines back to their base personnel of 3 receivers.
Clock rolling at 12.5 minutes to play. First half, no score. Wolverines facing a 3rd down and 6. Going to put Sullivan to the right side. It will be Sam Penna and Seth McGroarty to the left. Play clock down to 3 seconds. They snap it with 1. Wiley to throw. Going to take a shot from McGroarty. And that pass a little errant and incomplete. And it's going to bring up 4th down.
Again, the Wolverines liking that matchup, but Fickus, again, has been up to it all afternoon, and the punt team comes out for Grove City, so another exchange of punts. This will be the 7th punt of the afternoon, the 4th for Grove City. In terms of total offense, Case with a edge of 2, 55-53. It's been tough sledding for these offenses against two very good defenses.
High snap, Lane able to get that down and still get off a pretty good kick that is going to be fair caught at the 21-yard line. Who says punters aren't athletes? He made a great play to pull that high snap down.
He did that snap. Derek Lambert's done such a great job snapping all year. That one almost caught a flyer, but the key word is almost. Lane went up there, got it. And fortunately for the Wolverines as well, Case Western Reserve did not have the rush on. They were setting up the return, and Lane gets off a boomer down to the 23-yard line. And so that turns out to be 40 yards, but a net of 40. And another fair catch recorded by Brady Lane.
So DiTilio empties the backfield, puts a man in motion. He will drop to throw. Has time. Going to take the shot one-on-one. Downfield ball hung up. Receiver came back to it and made the catch for a big play out of the passing game for the Spartans.
That was Will Stack, who was a wide receiver, but he lined up in the backfield. He motioned out Jack Jolly, man coverage. Jolly was there, but a linebacker covering the receiver, that is a tough matchup, even for somebody as talented and skilled as Jack Jolly. And the catch out to the 48-yard line, first down for Case. The third first down of the afternoon for the Spartans.
Lopez now in there at the tailback spot. Two receivers left, wing and a receiver to the right side. Move Lopez now to that right side. They're going to run a little pitch play to the outside. That is Wedrell. Loose ball on the turf. And I think Montgomery came out of there with the football. He did. And we're now even in turnovers at one apiece.
There will be no official forced fumble, but if there was one, it would go to the tackle. Owen Meyer for Case Western. He was held up by the Wolverine defender coming over there. That was Jack Jolly who stonewalled him. His backside hit the ball carrier. Ball pops out, and Ryan Montgomery falls on it, and the Wolverines have it at the 49-yard line. But the guy that helped make that play as well, Jordan Karcheski, again, the end, responsible for the quarterback. He got there in a hurry, forced the pitch. The timing was just off a bit. Then the lineman there, great job by that front of the Wolverines. It was all three levels contributing. Lineman, linebacker, defensive back.
LaGuardia, the lone receiver, he is off to the right side on the hash marks. Both fullbacks to the right side. Demiri now in there at the tailback spot. Going to move a yard deep behind Wiley, who will drop to throw. Wiley has time. And that pass is going to be incomplete, looking for McGroarty, as Wiley not able to quite step into that throw as he got knocked down.
Certainly looked like McGroarty could have been able to make the catch, but it goes incomplete. That time the Wolverines working from the near hash mark, the left hash mark, which means the right side of the field is the wide side. McGroarty had cut down his split. He had a lot of room. The cornerback had the inside leverage. McGroarty went out, but the Wolverines can't connect.
Second down and 10 from the 49. 11-18 to play in a scoreless first half. It's Sullivan and Penna to the right side, and McGroarty now to the left. Wiley to throw. Fires over the middle. Penna makes the catch across the 40, down to the 39-yard line. That'll be another Wolverine first down.
Sam Penna, first season at Grove City, the junior out of Richland High School down in the Johnstown area. Able to find a soft spot, and Ethan Wiley put it right there. And if he didn't catch it, would have hit right. The point of the ball would hit right in the little hole in the top of the 8 in Penna's jersey. The Wolverines now inside the 40 to the 39 as they look to take advantage of the takeaway.
Single receiver to the right, two to the left side. It's Sullivan to the right, Penna and McGroarty to the left. Rankin is the tailback. Wiley gives the ball to Rankin. Had a nice gap up the middle across the 30 and dives down near the 25-yard line. And this drive, that offensive line starting to open up some holes.
Yeah, and as you go on during the course of the day, the Wolverines using some different formations. Maybe the best path to running the ball is staying in the base offense with McGroarty, Penna, and Sullivan, and having your 5 linemen and then Anthony Brunette at fullback. You get a little bit more room. Some weeks it's go 7-on-7 and just pound on them. Some weeks it's maybe 4 receivers. right now, the Wolverines getting some traction.
One receiver to the right, two to the left side. Wiley to throw, and that pass is batted down and incomplete. And it brings up a 2nd down and 10. Wolverines really open it up. That's the 17th pass attempt of this first half.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's one thing that doesn't feel like it, but as we look at the stats, that's the case. But they've been kind of throwing to set up the run, and again, the run has not necessarily been there because of how well Case Western Reserve has played it defensively.
2nd down and 10. Single receiver right, 2 to the left. Rankin remains the tailback with the fullback Anthony Burnett set up just in the backfield on the right side. Play clock down to 3 seconds. Wiley to throw. Going to take a shot. McCourty's open. Seth McCourty's in the end zone for a Wolverine touchdown. And McCourty going to find the end zone here for the Wolverines for the 3rd time this year.
They've tried a couple times. It didn't connect. A couple errant throws. A couple that maybe went off the hands. That time, picture perfect. Ethan Wiley didn't lose confidence in McCourty. Wolverines didn't lose confidence in Wiley either, and it's a touchdown. Wolverine defense getting the takeaway. They convert it with 9:45 to go in the first half. Seth McCourty and Ethan Wiley. It's a fun combination.
Brady Lane on for the extra point. 25 of 26 on the season for the freshman. Lambert snaps it, and the extra point is on the way, and that kick is good. So with 9:45 to play here in this afternoon's first half, our first points of the game up on the board. And the Wolverines now have taken a 7-0 lead over the Spartans. We'll step aside for a break and be back with more here on the Wolverines Sports Network.
Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. It's that time of year again. Buy one, get one free windshield wiper sale. You heard correct. BOGO windshield wiper sale with any of our Valvoline full-service oil change through the end of the year. So get ready for Old Man Winter today before he arrives. BOGO windshield wiper sale through December 31st. You can go anywhere for an oil change, but you come to us for the experience.
Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. Drive in, drive out. It's that easy.
7-0 lead for the Wolverines here this afternoon over the Spartans. And Brady Lane now to kick the football off. And I was looking at the numbers for Lane. They jump off the page. You know, think, well, kickoffs. Well, yeah, that's an important part of the game. 41 kickoffs coming into play today. 16 touchbacks, 0 kickoffs out of bounds.
Yeah, he's done such a great job. The fair catches who has done punting with these kickoffs. When the other team has to go 75 yards and has no chance for a return, I mean, it's hard for them to break a big one when they can't run it back.
Lane ready to get his foot into this one. This one is a line drive kick that's going to be touchback number 17 on the season for Lane, and he really got into that one and drove that ball low and into the end zone.
Yeah, that one landed almost completely out of the end zone, landed on the yellow soccer line, which is the goal line, the end line for the soccer field here at DeSanto Field. And speaking of soccer, Grove City men's soccer team hosting PAC championship today. Men playing the first match, women at 4:30 in the PAC title. Right now, Grove City leading Franciscan 1-0 at Don Lyle Field. Goal by Aiden Eck. Big play in that game. Keller Krieger, freshman goalie, stopped a penalty kick.
Off to a good start there. Datillo dropping to throw. Time in the pocket. He's going to take the one-on-one shot downfield, and that pass is intercepted. And who gets it but Keegan Frazier, his 6th of the year.
He ran the route better than the receiver. Ball a little bit underthrown. Frazier got there. Pick number 6. Back-to-back turnovers forced by the Grove City defense. They'll have it at the 40-yard line. Frazier back there. Montgomery was ranging over as well. The Wolverines will have it at the 40-yard line. And Datilio, again, just underthrown a bit. But Frazier, he had that one diagnosed from the snap. And Wolverines up 7-0 with momentum and good field position at the 40.
For Datilio, that is his 7th interception thrown on the season. Wolverines going to put single receivers to the right and left. And line up Barzak as a wing to the right side. Going to give the ball to Rankin. And Rankin, with some help from his offensive line mates, pushed this football all the way out across the 45 and down to the 46-yard line, a gain of 6 on first down.
We have an excellent view here at Case Western Reserve. We can kind of see just the cutback he made. It was not a big hole. If you're at ground level, you probably don't see it, but we could kind of see he out of his left eye, presumably saw a little crease. Looked like it was maybe 2 or 3. Gets 3 more yards out to the 46. Chase Rankin, such good vision.
Second down and 4. So it's Penna slot to the right with Sullivan outside of him on the numbers. And McGordy to the left side. Burnett fullback lined up to the left. Rankin is the tailback on 2nd and 4. Wiley to throw. Dumps it underneath. That's Burnett, the fullback, who makes the catch out of the backfield for a first down. His second reception of the season.
The first one, of course, was the touchdown at Allegheny, and everybody, it was great. We loved it. It was very exciting. But this was really important right here. From a tendency breaker, and the fact you get the first down, too. The linebacker was blitzing off the near side, Henry Bush. Brunette gave him a little chip. Nate Trainer neutralized him. Brunette slides into the flat. Wiley tossed it out there, and it's a first down across midfield.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left side. Rankin again is the tailback. Rankin's going to get the carry. Another big hole opening up, and the offensive line continuing to push Rankin across the 40 and all the way down to the 38-yard line. This big offensive line is really starting to take effect here in the second quarter.
Jed Feldmeyer, sophomore left guard, right at the point of attack. He was pushing downfield. Nate Trainer joining in there as well. And gain of 9. It was just the guys in white and red just swallowing up the guys in the what would be probably like an anthracite color. Would you call the Case jerseys? They have the third jerseys on today instead of their normal royal blue.
Second down and 1 for the Wolverines. Wiley to throw it. Quick pass out for McGordy, who turned back to the football. The ball was batted away, and they're going to say it was intercepted off the deflection.
Vickus made the interception on the near side, got the toe down. Grove City turns it over. Second turnover. Each team with 2 turnovers here now in the first half. And the turnover gives it to Case Western for reserve. So just when you thought that Grove City was maybe about to go, have the chance to extend the lead, Case Western Reserve comes up with a defensive play. And Spartans, they were on the ropes a little bit, but Vickus coming out of there with it. We can see the replay up on the big board there, and looking at it from 80 yards away, it looked like he made the catch and got the feet down.
Natilio, low snap, looks to throw, swings it out. Receiver makes the catch. Noah Wheeler there to knock him down after a short gain. Going to pick up about 4. It's second down and 6.
You're finding Stack out on the near flat. We've seen Stack line up at receiver and out of the backfield. That time, Noah Wheeler right there. But nice gain on first down for Case Western Reserve. As we said before the game, the way these teams both play and have played throughout this year, every mistake magnified. We've not had much in terms of penalties, but 2 turnovers for each team.
Going to have trips to the left, single receiver right side. That is Dylan Cave, the senior. Natilio going to run that option. He will keep it, and he will run into the arms of several Wolverine defenders after a gain of 1. It's going to bring up a now third down and 4.
Nick Clemens was lined up over the left guard, and he looped to what would be the offense's right side. Jordan Karcheski, he went a little bit wider, which then forced Natilio to cut back inside. And who was right there? Nick Clemens. Good team defense by the Wolverines. Again, Jordan Karcheski making another play that won't be on the stat sheet.
And whistles, and we've got a timeout on the field called by the Spartans. 6:27 to play in this first half. It is Grove City 7 and Case Western Reserve 0. You're listening to the Wolverines Sports Network.
55. The President's Athletic Conference is regarded as one of the elite NCAA Division III conferences in the nation. Comprised of 12 private institutions and 1 associate member, the PAC thrives in athletics and academics. Now sponsoring 24 varsity sports, the PAC remains unique in this day of high-pressure college athletics, with academics at the core of every program. With over 300 academic All-Americans and over 1,400 academic honor roll recipients with a 3.6 GPA or higher in the past year alone. Our student athletes excel in athletics as well as the classroom. Want to learn more? Visit us at pacathletics.org or follow us on social media.
Third down and 3 for the Spartans. DeTilio downfield. Receiver comes back to it, makes the catch for a first down to the 45-yard line. And Bowden Davidson there to make the stop on Brian Caldwell Jr., the grad student out of Philadelphia.
A nice route run by Caldwell. Got past the 6 and gets the first down. Grove City went to a nickel look. Really, if you consider Klaus a defensive back, which he more or less is, it would be 6 defensive backs. Levi Teets in as Nick Clements checked out on that 3rd and 4. But the Spartans able to convert. It's their first third down conversion of the day.
DeTilio to throw, being pressured by Brubaker. He turns upfield across the 50, 45, 40, 35, and then hammered down by a couple of Wolverines at the 34-yard line.
That's what DeTilio can do. His legs scrambled out of there. Caleb Brubaker was a step from getting him, able to step out of that ankle tackle, and a nice gainer down to the 33 of Grove City. Case Western on the move, looking to convert the takeaway into points, which Grove City did earlier in this second quarter.
2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left side. It's Andy Kavsik now in there at the tailback spot. DeTilio fakes it to him, takes a big shot as he fires downfield, and that ball batted away and incomplete by Mason Klaus. It's 2nd down and 10.
Grove City's number 9 matched up on number 9 stack for Case Western, and Mason gets break up number 9 right there. Kind of was able to turn around. The ball was underthrown and just reach over it at 6'3". You know, if he's 5'10", it's probably pass interference, but he's able to reach over him and swat that one away.
Trips to the right, single receiver left side. DeTilio working out of the shotgun, takes the snap, 2-step drop, stands in the pocket, being pressured. He's going to look downfield now. He'll tuck and run across the 30, 25, and down to the 24-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 1 for the Spartans.
Key on this drive so far has been DeTilio's legs, and now the Spartans will send in extra beef, and Grove City will answer as well. Looks like Case is going to have 7, maybe 8 linemen out there. And Grove City sends in Caleb Kuhl and Jack Rickovic, reserve nose tackle.
And no receivers in this formation. They turn and pitch the football, and that is going to be close to the first down marker and just enough to move the chains.
What Case did, they went double tights, 2 tight ends, but the ends were both linemen, so 7 linemen, quarterback under center, fullback and wings, and it's some of you don't even see much anymore at the high school level. It's the old toss power, quarterback, reverse pivot toss, and he'll lead the way through. They fake the reverse coming back around. They get about 1.5 yards on the first down.
DeTilio trips right, single receiver left side. Kavsik, the tailback. DeTilio pumps, wanted Kavsik on the wheel route, and Noah Wheeler there for the interception. Across the 10 to 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, out to midfield, and where's Noah Wheeler step out of bounds all the way in Case Western territory at the 47-yard line.
It wasn't a wheel route, it was a Wheeler route, Mark. And he had it diagnosed there as 4th pick of the season. Picked it off at the 5. Then how about that run back? 48 yards. Not only get the takeaway, but then great field position as well. Noah Wheeler, of course, we saw what he did at Cortland in week 1. The pick 6 there. He ran the blocked field goal back for a touchdown against Waynesburg University. And now here, the return past midfield. Maybe, I have a hunch here. Deep shot.
So 1st and 10 from the Case 47-yard line. It's Rankin on the carry across the 45 and down to the 44. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7.
3.5 minutes to go first half. Maybe a case, too, where the Wolverines, if you can put together a nice drive here, plenty of time, all 3 timeouts remaining as well for the Wolverines. They're in a pretty good spot here. would like to make it an even better spot here before halftime.
Sullivan to the right. It is Penna and McGroarty to the left side. Rankin is your tailback. Gonna give it to Rankin on second down. Had a little hole up the middle, and Rankin falls forward down to the 40-yard line for a 4-yard pickup. It'll be 3rd and 3 for Grove City.
Yeah, he didn't quite have the handoff clean at the moment. It took about an extra, split second to get that ball secure, but still a decent gain. And now Barzak will check into that slot receiver spot. Penna out for 3rd and 3. Wolverines are 1 of 6 on 3rd down today, Mark.
This is a 3rd and 3 from the Spartan 40-yard line. Going to bring Barzak now in tight on the line of scrimmage. Lined up as a wing to the left. Give the ball to Rankin. Rankin looking for some running room. And he's going to get down to the 39-yard line. This is going to be 4th and 2 in decision time for Coach DiDonato.
And the Wolverines will have the 2-minute timeout to contemplate their decision here on 4th down.
2 minutes to play into the first half. Grove City 7, Case Western 0. You're listening to the Wolverines Sports Network.
You clean. Fast, friendly service for cars, trucks, and SUVs. Wiper blades or filters, check your tire pressure. Locally owned, nationally known.
Ken Frenchak here from the Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. Fall. Leaves are changing. Why not get a jump start on the season and get the oil changed in your vehicle? We have your grade of Valvoline oil regardless of your gas or diesel engine. We stock most air filters and windshield wiper blades. So don't forget, we offer 2 automatic car washes along with 2 self-serve bays. Stop by to have your car run and look great. You can go anywhere for an oil change, but you come to us for the experience.
Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. Drive in, drive out, it's that easy.
So the Wolverines elect to bring on Lane to punt the football away, try to flip the field position here in the final 2 minutes. Single returner back deep at his 10-yard line. It's a fake. They're going to run the ball with Burnett, and he's got the first down. Anthony Burnett all over the offensive game plan today.
Name him PAC Offensive Player of the Week. Brian Rose, if you're listening at the soccer championships, the award is his. The Wolverines have not run a trick play, a fake punt, anything like that since Coach DiDonato has been head coach. 10 years, 100 games. He waited to his 100th game to run the fake punt. Wow, oh wow, oh wow.
Executed beautifully by the special teams unit for the Wolverines.
Fooled this old boy, I can tell you that.
1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. Wiley to throw it after the fake. Going to take the shot. Looking for McGroarty, just too far out in front and incomplete. It's 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, 2 receivers ended up in the same area, McGroarty and then Sam Penna from the other side. I mean, they weren't holding hands that close, but they were in the same general vicinity.
Really aggressive play calling. Run the fake punt, go right for the shock play after that.
Yeah, the Wolverines said we're not we're playing to win and leading 7-0 here and a chance to because Case will have the ball to start the 3rd quarter. Case has the option, so they'll take it, no doubt.
2nd down and 10. Wiley to throw, swings it out. That's a catch made by Daniel Sullivan, his first of the afternoon, and the junior has his 21st reception.
Yeah, just the quick out, working on Chukwuocha, very good cornerback. That's a good matchup there. 2 guys that are both very quick. And Wiley able to get it out there, and it's 3rd down and 4 for the Wolverines.
Single receiver to the right. That'll be 2 to the left side with Chase Rankin, the tailback. Turn, they'll check with the Cards on the sidelines. Play clock now at 11 seconds. Wiley overlooking that Spartan defense. Takes the snap, gives the ball to Rankin, running right up the middle. And Rankin's going to be about 1.5 yards shy, and it's going to bring up now 4th down.
And the clock down to 1:09. Case Western Reserve has 1 timeout, but the Wolverines quickly back to the line.
Play clock at 22 seconds. Rankin remains the tailback there. This would be about 43, 44 yards, and with the difficult conditions, they'll keep the offense on the field. And they're going to let this play clock run down under 5 seconds. And I believe Coach DiDonato is going to ask for a timeout right before the clock expires.
For every Grove City College touchdown and caused turnover this season, Northwestern Mutual Gold Financial is proud to partner with Grove City College football to support the Grove City Area United Way. Gold Financial, 160 South Broad Street in Grove City. We appreciate their support. John Gracer, Luke Michael, the proprietors now, of course, West School's working there. Ryan Eller, the whole staff at Gold Financial and Northwestern Mutual. We appreciate everything they do, not just for the Wolverines, but for the campus community at large.
Keeping an eye on action around the conference as well. The other big game going on today, Washington Jefferson at Geneva in Beaver Falls. A 21-0 lead for the Presidents as they play late in the first half.
Yeah, it's Gino DeMarco's final home game as Geneva head coach. He, of course, announced before the season that he was retiring. Geneva had an open date last week. He thought, if this is the year that they're going to get W&J, this would be it. But Presidents are making sure that there is not a storybook finish for Geneva.
They're going to bring out Brady Lane to attempt this field goal of about 44 yards, which would match his career high. Lambert to snap it. Ellis gets it down. Lane gets his foot into this one. A high, deep kick that they're going to say is no good. And the Spartans get the stop with 35 seconds to go in the half.
Yeah, he hit it well, but it hooked left. So now Case Western with it. One timeout for the Spartans. The way this game has gone and the fact that, DeTilio has already thrown a couple of interceptions, I would be surprised. Although, here's the other 2 timeouts. Case can kneel out the clock. I would guess that we may see a kneel down and everybody goes to the locker room, but we'll see.
Spartan offense back out onto the field. It's Andy Kavcik at the tailback spot with DeTilio. They go trips to the right, single receiver left. DeTilio to throw it. Time in the pocket, going to go over the middle, and that pass knocked away by Bowden Davidson and incomplete. Looking downfield for the senior in Dylan Cave.
And now with the incompletion on first down, Grove City 2 timeouts. Now Case cannot knee it out. So Case obviously trying to get a chunk there. Did not. A chance here, if the Wolverines can get a couple stops here, Case at least would have to punt, maybe get after it, try and block a kick late in the half. But this final 30 seconds could be interesting.
DeTilio trips to the right. Kavcik going to move to the right side, and now we've got a flag and a procedure penalty on the Spartans. Looked like they had 2 men in motion at the same time, and you must be north of the border to do that.
Yeah, we're north. We're not that far north. They're going to get Sean Denona, I guess, the center. He may have been an illegal snap, as there were a couple officials saw that. So now 2nd and 15. And again, the 2 timeouts remaining for Grove City.
Wolverines dropping Montgomery back as a single high safety. DeTilio's just going to run with this, and he's going to be dropped by Caleb Brubaker. And we got whistles that stop play with 23 seconds to go in the half. So a timeout stops play, 23 seconds. Spartans facing a 3rd down and about 11 yards to go. Grove City using that timeout. Now each coach left with 1.
And if you're Case Western reserve here, I think you probably just maybe quarterback draw or design quarterback run with DeTilio, who has shown the ability to get sizable yardage. Because an incompletion stops the clock and allows Grove City to hang on to that last timeout. And, the way things have worked out, you may have just as good of odds of getting the first down with DeTilio running, or even if he runs, it could burn up, 6, 7, 8 seconds and really put, really kind of squelch Grove City's plans here.
Trips right, single receiver left, Kavcik the tailback. DeTilio might be checking at the line of scrimmage. Wolverines showing some pressure He's just going to take the snap, try to run with the football, and he's pulled down in bounds, and the clock will continue to run, and now stopped with 16 seconds to go.
Yeah, running east-west was a play that used up some time, and it was a safe play. I don't think that Tilio had any inclination to pitch it at all. Just hang on to it and go to the far sideline. Went down inbounds, and the last time out of the half taken by Grove City with 16 seconds to go, and Case Western Reserve will have to punt. And I would guess this is a case where Grove City would come with the all-out block.
Grove City 38 offensive plays for 144 yards. Case Western 29 for 133 yards. And the numbers reflect how close a game it is.
Well, the way Grove City's lining up, we'll see what they do here. Just looking at personnel, Bowden Davidson is back deep. I think he's getting the orders to fair catch. We see special teams coordinator Bill Bruss down there.
Good snap, rush on, gets the kick away. It's a short spirally kick that will check up at the 50-yard line. And the Spartan players stood over the football for a few seconds to let that time roll off, and we're down to 5 seconds.
Heads up by Case Western to not jump on it. And as you said, that allowed an extra second or two to tick off. That may be the difference between one play and two plays for the Wolverines. But ball right now just past midfield. We know Ethan Wiley, he can get it to the end zone from here.
So the Wolverines back out of the field for what looks like one final snap here in the first half. Sullivan to the right, Penna slot to the left with Seth McGordy on the numbers. Spartan's going to play off coverage. Wiley will drop to throw. Steps up. He's going to unload this one towards the end zone. Couple of receivers out there, and the ball batted away and incomplete. And we have come to the end of the first half of action.
Yeah, you held your breath on that one, but ultimately it hits the turf. And this game is really shaken out, I think, like we thought it would, Mark. Low-scoring defensive, but the Wolverines, they have the only points thanks to the McGordy touchdown catch earlier in the second quarter.
So we've completed one half of action here this afternoon from DeSanto Field. And it is a 7-0 lead for the Wolverines thanks to the Seth McGordy touchdown catch. Gives us a chance to step aside for a break, and we'll come back with halftime activities after this on the Wolverines Sports Network.
55. The President's Athletic Conference is regarded as one of the elite NCAA Division III conferences in the nation. Comprised of 12 private institutions and one associate member, the PAC thrives in athletics and academics. Now sponsoring 24 varsity sports, the PAC remains unique in this day of high-pressure college athletics, with academics at the core of every program. With over 300 academic All-Americans and over 1,400 academic honor roll recipients with a 3.6 GPA or higher in the past year alone. Our student athletes excel in athletics as well as the classroom. Want to learn more? Visit us at pacathletics.org or follow us on social media.
And we welcome you back here as halftime continues here on the Wolverines Sports Network with the Wolverines a touchdown lead over Case Western here at the break. And what has been a kind of what you might have expected the way these two defenses have played the last few weeks.
Yeah, exactly as you said, Mark. It's been tough sledding both teams. Case kind of had the upper hand in terms of field position. Of course, missing the field goal early on. Grove City breaking through the Montgomery fumble recovery at midfield. Wolverines 3 takeaways in the first half, but Case with 2. Grove City +1, but they're +1 in terms of touchdowns at the Montgomery fumble recovery, ultimately resulting in the touchdown catch, McGordy receiving from Wiley. So it's it's been a certainly, and I know the stats will illustrate it as well. It has been it's been a battle today, kind of just an old style type of game we see so often, especially in college football. High scoring games, 35-31. The quote video game type offensive numbers, quarterbacks throwing for 350 and rushing for 120 and so forth. This is throwback football, and it's a style that Grove City's very comfortable with, and Case Western Reserve is too. It's who can, I mean this in a complimentary way, who can win ugly better. And right now, Grove City up 7-0 at the break.
And the only thing we are really missing is a grass field and some mud, or we would have, all of those things for the proper recipe for a game like that.
Well, certainly dark, cloudy day here. The lights, it's a good thing the lights are on. They didn't have the lights on until right before kickoff, and it was certainly, it was dark out there. But it's been a battle. These two programs that have such great respect for each other. And, the numbers illustrate it, 144 in terms of total yardage for Grove City, 133 for Case. The teams are combined 3 for 15 on third downs. We've had very few penalties, just 3 total. 9-6 the Grove City edge in first downs. Both teams probably ruining a couple of missed opportunities as well.
And we've seen the Grove City coaching staff, not that they aren't normally, but they've been aggressive today. Passing the flat to the fullback and a great read by Wiley for a first down. Fake punt, as you said, first trick play in a decade.
Yeah, and you said they've been aggressive, but sometimes they say there's a fine line between being aggressive and reckless. The Wolverines certainly have not been reckless. The fake punt was the right call at the right time. The pass to Brunette, who's also the fake punt ball carrier, but it has been more of a pass-oriented in terms of 22 passing plays, 16 rushing plays so far. Actually, technically 23 because one of the rushes is a sack on Wiley. But they've found some matchups they like. But by the same token, you started to see the ground game get going a little bit. Chase Rankin, 52 yards on 13 carries. And Case, they're very good defensively, very sound. They're coached up very well. Their schemes, everything they do well. Grove City did some different things personnel-wise, formation-wise. They found some things that were working to get the running game going. And if the Spartans adjust to that, then what's Grove City's counter? Maybe more in the passing game.
Looking at some of those individual numbers, you mentioned Rankin, 13 carries for 52 yards. Anthony Burnett, the fake punt rush, 1 for 4. Ian Demary has 1 carry for 2 yards. Leading receiver in the game is Seth McGroarty, who has 5 catches for 59 yards. But the number that kind of jumps out at you is they were trying to get McGroarty the football. He's been targeted 16 times in the first half.
Yeah, 22 pass attempts for Wiley, 16 in the direction of McGroarty. Give Fickus, the cornerback that they've been, quote, picking on. He's done very well. He has an interception today off a deflection, one of the 2 picks for the Case defense. But certainly getting the ball to McGroarty has been a point of emphasis, and that target number is clear evidence of that.
Daniel Sullivan, 2 catches for 13 yards. Sam Penna, 1 for 10. Brunette, 1 for 7. Leading tackler in the game, it's Caleb Brubaker, who's added 7 more tackles to his total with the sack. Jack Jolly in with 6. Nick Clements with 4. Jordan Karcheski in with a pair. Detilio throwing the football in the first half, 6 of 13, 2 interceptions, 78 yards, sacked twice. He's the leading rusher with 10 carries for 31 yards. Stefan Lopez has carried it 4 times for 21 yards. Dylan Cave targeted 6 times, leading the way with 2 catches for 33 yards.
Yeah, it's the stats kind of tell the story. Sometimes stats can be misleading. Sometimes they are not, and that's the case here. 7-0 the lead for the Wolverines at the break.
We will step aside for another timeout. We'll come back, much more to get to here on the Wolverines Sports Network.
I'm Sally, a volunteer at United Way. I'm asking people around the neighborhood what they think this place needs. Excuse me, hi. What do you think this place needs?
I'd like to see more parking.
More playgrounds.
Free movies.
That's easy. Better restaurants.
And you, what do you think this place needs?
This place? Oh, more ice cream trucks.
Okay. How about you?
Wi-Fi everywhere?
I was thinking more money in the pockets of local families come tax time.
Can I change my answer?
I was just kidding about the ice cream.
Oh, that's way better. Now that you mention it.
When it comes to getting better tax refunds into the hands of local families, what this place needs is you. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org. Because great things happen when we live united. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
This is the news. This morning, we are saluting the 2.2 million women who have joined in the war effort. They now make up 37% of the workforce, changing their role forever.
The prestigious Harvard Medical School is breaking ground today, opening its doors to new female applicants.
Today, little girls all over the world look to the sky, where the first woman is now in space.
Military stereotypes are challenged today with the trailblazing promotion of a U.S. female officer to 4-star general. It was just announced that the vast majority of last year's doctorate degrees were earned by women.
We've come so far, but our news is changing for the worse. More women die from heart disease and stroke than men, even though it can be prevented. Make a change at GoRedForWomen.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the American Heart Association's Go Red for Women.
Chris, can you put the video game controller down for a second?
I can talk and play. Oh, I'm totally annihilating this punk kid in Nebraska.
I just feel like you're not acting like a grown-up in our relationship.
Am too.
Well, you know, you still ride your skateboard to work, there's the comic book collection, the race car bed.
Look, I'm young at heart, but I put money into my 401k every paycheck. I picked up a few savings tips at feedthepig.org. I have control of my financial life now, and that feels pretty grown up.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million bucks. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. For free ideas and easy tips on ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
So, I bet I look like a grown-up to you now.
Well, except for the footy pajamas, I'd have to agree.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Halftime continues here on the Wolverines Sports Network. Grove City with a 7-0 lead here at Case Western at the halftime over the Spartans. And lots of good action going on around the conference this afternoon.
Yeah, it's 10 teams in action, of course, 5 games all, 1 o'clock kickoffs in the President's Athletic Conference, and I believe that they are all at halftime. So, the game Mark updated you on earlier, W&J now leading Geneva 28-0 at the break. A W&J win, and the Presidents would clinch the automatic berth in the conference from the conference into the NCAA playoffs. Grove City would still have a chance to get a share of the title with a win next week and a W&J loss, but W&J with the head-to-head would get the automatic berth, and the Presidents lead in Beaver Falls 28-0 at the half. Halftime in New Wilmington at Memorial Field in Westminster, all over Hiram, 48-0 at the break. Good one down in Greene County. St. Vincent leading Waynesburg University 17-14 at the break. And at halftime in Greenville, Teal leading Bethany 6-0. So of the 5, 3 tight ones. One that's on the verge of being blown wide open, and one that is wide open right now. Westminster looks to be on its way to win number 6, taking on Hiram. Of course, we will see the Terriers next week in the regular season finale a little bit south of here down in Portage County.
Absolutely. Another trip to Ohio for the Wolverines. And
which will be, by the way, the first time that Grove City will have played back-to-back games in Ohio. And this will show up in the notes next week, too. But if you're listening, you get a preview. That's why you should always listen to us. It'll be the first time since 1998 that Grove City will have played back-to-back games in the state of Ohio. That year, the Wolverines opened at Worcester and then played at Ohio Wesleyan in week 2. So this year, closing at Case Western Reserve and then at Hiram. And then there is the possibility that the Wolverines could play a third straight game in Ohio with the bowl series between the PAC, OAC, Heartland Conference, and North Coast Conference. Those games are in Canton on the 22nd, depending on how things shake out for the Wolverines the rest of today and then next week. And then other things that happen, Grove City could be matched up down there. So, again, long way to go today. And, of course, next week, and then other stuff going on throughout the region. But that's also, it's on the radar. I mean, it is a possibility. So we could get a Buckeye hat trick, if you will.
You know, we were talking about that trip to Hiram, and your first road trip with football as the SID for that last time they played.
Yeah, first time. For those wondering, I started as the college's sports information director in June of 2002. And first football game that year was at Hiram in early September, week 1. Wolverines won 30-7. So it'll be my first time back there since then from a football standpoint. So that'll be special next week. And yeah, Hiram back in the PAC. Terriers have put together a nice year this year. 3 wins. They've had some real struggles over the last decade plus. Coaches Xavier Dupree, they're building there. It's not easy. This is a tough league. We know all about it. We can certainly relate. But they have 3 wins this year, and not going to get one today, it doesn't appear. But the Terriers have certainly they've done a lot of good things this year, and certainly last week they fell to Teal, which I think was a bit of a surprise. But Teal getting its win. Tomcats have been getting better and better each week, and then of course leading Bethany today 6-0. But yeah, very excited to go to Hiram next week.
We talked about this on the way here, going to Hiram. You've got St. Francis coming in next year, so it's just the continued growth of this great conference.
Absolutely, the conference. I think the work that has been done by the college presidents over the years, and then of course the mainstay with all that in the PAC now for 2 decades, Commissioner Joe Onderco, his work, and now his excellent staff, which includes Kristen Consuegra and Brian Rose. All 3 of them, I believe, are at Grove City today for the soccer championships, and we'll update you on those in a minute. But the work that they have done and continue to do, really elevating the profile of the conference in terms, and it's not solely just what happens in terms on the field, on the court, in the pool, etc., but also from an NCAA standpoint, from a legislation standpoint, a leadership standpoint. PAC has a lot of coaches and administrators who have really been able to take on prominent roles in NCAA committees, whether it's sport committees, financial committees, compliance rules, etc., all of those types of things, and just continuing to elevate the PAC and continuing to the PAC's continual growth into what's become an outstanding and vibrant Division III athletic conference. A lot of fun to be part of it. Again, when I went back to when I started working in 2002, we had 6 schools. Westminster just came in. They were 6, and now here we are, whatever now was it, 23 years later, double that. With such great geography, everybody's within 2.5 hours of each other. St. Francis, who certainly fits the conference in so many ways, geographically, philosophically, academically, coming in. Really great to have the core membership, and then to have an associate member such as Case Western Reserve University, one of our nation's great universities. To have them to be able to come here, play them in football. They're such a class operation here, and just great times in the PAC, and I think even better days ahead, both on the field and competition venue as well as off the field.
Hey, it's been fantastic to see the growth of the conference, the recognition of the conference, being on a national scale, getting multiple teams into the NCAA playoffs. It's been a fantastic growth to just witness and be a small part of.
Certainly, it's been fun to be. It's been fun to see, and excited to see what happens with those soccer championships today. Of course, this week the PAC soccer tournament's concluding. Volleyball tournament is next week, and Grove City is the soccer epicenter of the PAC today. A doubleheader. The men, the number 1 seed in the tournament. The women, the number 1 seed in their tournament. And the men playing right now. And they have, as they say in soccer parlance, a half hour to go. They've played 60 minutes, in Grove City leading Franciscan 1-0 at Don Lyle Field. PAC Sports Network, in conjunction with the Wolverines Sports Network, providing coverage of that. Nick Schmieg and Grant Archuleta on the call. And then at 4:30 today, the Grove City women will host Waynesburg, and that'll be Nick and Kevin Zumanski will have the call for that one. Of course, Waynesburg women, their coach is George DiAugustino. He's a Grove City grad. He's done a great job with the Waynesburg program, building them from kind of being a mid-tier team to now a team that's playing for a PAC title. And the Wolverines going for their 3rd consecutive conference title. That's at Don Lyle Field. The women defeated Franciscan 1-0 on Wednesday night in the semis. The Grove City men with a 2-0 win over Geneva in a semifinal. So a lot going on the soccer field.
And not only that, but you had a chance to be part of basketball starting last night.
Yes, basketball underway. The women's basketball team at Grove City opening the season last night. 84-31 win over Carlo. 4 players in double figures. Reese Hazley, 17 points, 10 rebounds for the Wolverine point guard. Alexa McDowell made her first start, scores a career-high 14 points. And then also 12 points for Meredith Sherrod from the senior center from Texas, New Braunfels, Texas. New Braunfels' nickname, you know what it is?
No.
The Unicorns.
That's a different one. I love unique high school names.
And that one is unique. And then also one of the Wolverine freshmen, Kate Klein, 12 points last night. So Grove City getting the win. Wolverines will be back in action next Friday and Saturday at against Baldwin Wallace Friday, Mount Aloysius Saturday. Those games are at Worcester. The Wolverine men's basketball team will be opening the season Wednesday night against Pitt Greensburg, 7 o'clock in the Grove City College Arena, and we'll have the action, the video action on the Wolverine Sports Network. The swimming and diving teams opened their home and conference schedules last night. Big wins for both. The women over St. Vincent, 239-48. The men winning 182-80 over St. Vincent. Some great performances, some personal bests. I know head coach Dave Fritz, I talked to him last night after the meet. He was very pleased. The women won 16 total events. The men had a lot of great times as well, a number of victories. They'll be back in action next Saturday at home against the College of Worcester in a 1 p.m. non-conference dual meet. Cross-country teams, they will be in South Central Pennsylvania next week for the NCAA Mid-Atlantic Regional Championships. Dickinson is the host. They run that down in Big Spring, Pennsylvania, which is kind of near the Mason-Dixon line, south central part of the state, near Carlisle. And the Wolverine men were second at the PAC Championships, looking to have a strong performance at the regional meet. And the women's team, they've had some injuries and young, but they did, all things considered, did well at the PAC meet. And they're very excited, I know, to get going down at the regional meet to conclude that. And then they'll be getting into indoor track shortly thereafter. I believe the first indoor meet is in early December. They'll come here to Case Western Reserve.
A lot of things on the calendar this week in the upcoming weeks.
Lots going on, and maybe more next week, depending on how soccer does. Men's soccer team leading 1-0 now, 27 minutes to go. The only goal was scored by Aiden Eck. Assists from Evan Yoder and Luke Lattis. Of course, one of the keys in that game, Keller Krieger, he stopped the penalty kick in the first half to preserve what at the time was a scoreless tie. But that Franciscan team's a dangerous team. I can tell you this. The next 26 minutes are going to feel like 26 hours for the Wolverines. Now, if you're Franciscan, that clock looks like it's going to be going about 3 times as fast. And when you're trying to hang on to that lead, it's going to feel like it's taking a month of Sundays.
We will step aside for a very quick break and come back and we'll get ready to begin the third quarter here on the Wolverine Sports Network.
It can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Getting ready to begin this afternoon's third quarter here on the Wolverine Sports Network. Mark Means, Ryan Briggs with you as Brady Lane and the Grove City special teams onto the field as the Spartans will get the ball to begin today's third quarter.
Send out a quick hello to former standout center and assistant coach for the Wolverines, Matt Gregg, the pride of Hopewell High School. He's tuned in today. He checked in. Always great to hear from Matt. One of my favorites, and hope he's doing well. And see if the Wolverines can pull out a win here on the road.
Lane's kickoff high, and this one fielded at the 4. Across the 5, 10, 15, 20, and down near the 25-yard line. And that is where the Spartans will begin their first possession of this third quarter, going left to right. Only score of that first half was the pass from Ethan Wiley to Seth McGroarty for the touchdown, as defenses stood tall for both teams here after 2 quarters.
Yeah, defenses are the strengths of both teams. You have to wonder if which team can get the running game going? 55 yards on 16 attempts for Case, 50 on 16 for Grove City.
Detilio turns it over, swings the ball out into the flat. Lopez makes the catch, made the first man miss, was able to pick up a couple of yards. It's about 2 on the reception. It is 2nd down and 8 for the Spartans.
Good job by Keegan Frazier out there. Caleb Brubaker also. And sometimes, Case is more likely to use the short passing game as a complement or even a substitute for the running game. Although, hey, Grove City did throw to Anthony Brunette, the fullback, in the first half. But that's something that you're more likely to see from Case Western Reserve. Good job by the Wolverines making it 2nd and 8.
Trip to the right, single receiver left side. Detilio to throw, looking left, now rolling back to the right side. And to try and make the long throw to the opposite side of the field, and that is incomplete. As Liam O'Brien, the junior out of Irwin, PA, not able to get quite back to get his hands under the football.
He did a good job coming back to help out his quarterback, but that pass was hardly a tight spiral. It was a real wobbler out there, and simply couldn't get there. It was a nice effort by O'Brien to try and help out his quarterback, but it's 3rd down and 8 for Case. Spartans 2 of 7 on 3rd down in the first half.
Trips to the right, single receiver left side. Lopez is the single back. That's Stefan Lopez. Detilio to throw. Now he'll be flushed to the outside. Going to look downfield. And the receiver made the catch across the 50, 45, and down near the 40-yard line. That's O'Brien coming right back and making a big catch to convert a 3rd down for the Spartans.
Touchdown-saving tackle made by Ryan Montgomery out there. 2 Grove City defenders ran into each other. And ended up picking off each other right as the ball was getting there. And that O'Brien went from being open to wide open. And there's a Grove City player down. I believe it is Keegan Frazier, who is seated back at the 40-yard line. As we see Mike Equi, who was just out there on the kick team, tossed off the park, and he's going to come in at free safety. Mike is certainly a seasoned player, made 1 start last year. And he was just out there on the kick team, so he's good and loose, ready to go. But the Keegan Frazier, who had his 6th interception of the season earlier, right now is seated, and he's up and walking off on his own, which is a good sign. But at least for one play, you'll check out the 6 interceptions, by the way, are the most for a Wolverine since Action Jackson. Daniel Jackson had 6 interceptions 7 years ago. And then before that, Mike Kasherba, who's special teams coach at Lehigh, undefeated 9-0 Lehigh. Mike Kasherba had 6 picks back in 1998.
1st and 10 for the Spartans from the Grove City 39-yard line. Detilio trips to the right, single receiver to the left side. Lopez is the tailback. Detilio claps, gives the ball to Lopez, and he's able to push the pile forward for about 2 on 1st down. It is 2nd and 8.
Caleb Brubaker blitzing off the near side kind of blew up that play. And now Frazier back in, so it's good to see him out there. Grove City, they have put Nick Clements down at defensive end with Danny Franco checking in at linebacker. And I believe that Dave Cower has kicked inside the nose tackle. So a little bit of a different alignment for the Wolverines. Clements a hand down, but essentially it's a 2-4-5.
Detilio to throw. And as he throws, that ball wobbles and is out in front of O'Brien and incomplete. Grove City's done a good job getting pressure on Detilio all afternoon.
And getting pressure without having to bring extra rushers. When fewer guys after the quarterback means more guys in coverage. And there may have been some confusion on the route as well, as O'Brien and Stack, they almost ran into each other. They might have even clipped each other about the 25-yard line. And another 3rd down. Case converted on 3rd and 8 moments ago. Another 3rd and 8 here. Probably 4-down territory for the Spartans.
Going to put 3 receivers in a diamond formation to the right, 1 to the left. Detilio drops to throw, looking that way, being pressured backside of that pass, falls incomplete. Closest receiver to that was Keegan Frazier.
And the Wolverines brought the extra rusher that time. Franco and Jolly both blitz from the linebacker spot. And being 4th down, and Case will bring out the punt team. So not 4-down territory. And Coach Devilac content to play the field position game, which much of the first half was played in that manner, trying to pin the other team deep. Grove City has its base defense out there. Davidson deep.
Punter standing at midfield, high snap to him, no rush at him. Punt is away, and that is going to roll inside the 5, and that ball's going to go out of bounds at the 3-yard line. So great punt by the Spartans, and Grove City now with 97 yards of turf in front of them.
Yeah, you don't see the coffin corner kick much anymore. When we were, back when dinosaurs roamed the earth and we were kids, punters would angle for the corner. That's what we saw there, and it goes out of bounds at the 3-yard line. So much now they're able to get the backspin where it hits and checks up, the so-called Australian type or backspin. That time was more of the coffin corner, and the Wolverines are coming out from their own goal line.
They will shuffle the offensive line, both fullbacks, Brunette and Hoddle in there. Demiri, a couple yards deep in the end zone as the tailback. Demiri got to get the handoff, and Ian Demiri able to push the pile forward down to about the 4-yard line. He's going to gain a yard or so and set up 2nd down and 9.
Normally, when you think goal line offense, it's going in towards the end zone, not coming away from it. But in a case like this, the Wolverines just trying to get a little bit of breathing room, getting a couple of yards. Again, they get one, but every yard's so critical, trying to get away from your own goal line. At this point, just try to get yourself in a manageable 3rd down and get that 1st down and help tilt that field position, which right now is not the favorite of the guys in the white and red.
Rankin, the tailback. Barzak, one of the receivers to the right side. They give the ball to Rankin. Rankin spun off of a tackle. The ball came loose at the 9-yard line. There's a pile up for the football there, and the Spartans have got the football.
Helmet right on the football. It popped out. The ball was kind of corkscrewing around, and may have been Laverty who came up with the recovery. Either way, golden opportunity for Case Western Reserve, the 3rd turnover of the day by the Wolverines. And people, I'm sure there were probably Case fans saying, "Oh, why are we punting? We should go for it. We should go for it." Game like this, you play conservatively, wait for their team to make a mistake, and there comes the mistake. The Wolverines fumbling, and goal to go from the 9 for the Spartans.
One receiver to the left, trips to the right side. Stefan Lopez, the tailback. Vitelio drops to throw. Time, lobbing it for the back corner of the end zone. And no indication yet. Touchdown, Spartans. Able to drag that foot in the back corner for a Spartan touchdown.
It was Bo Wolf. It looked like he must have been able to drag that right foot in the back corner of the end zone before the knee and shin landed out of bounds. We're waiting to see a replay. They haven't posted it. Now they are. We're trying to look and see, and it was very close. Not saying he didn't, but it was close. Now the extra point to tie the game.
Petrozzi on for the extra point. 36 of 36 on the season. Flag comes in before the snap of the football, and it's going to be defensive encroachment, looks like initially.
Case has declined the penalty and won't do anything to disrupt the normal operation of the extra point.
So Petrozzi now on for the extra point. Low snap, they get it down, and the kick is up and good. And with 11:44 to play here in this 3rd quarter, it is now Grove City 7, Case Western 7. We'll be back after this timeout on the Wolverines Sports Network.
You clean. Fast, friendly service for cars, trucks, and SUVs. Wiper blades or filters, check your tire pressure. Locally owned, nationally known.
Ken Frenchak here from the Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. Fall. Leaves are changing. Why not get a jump start on the season and get the oil changed in your vehicle? We have your grade of Valvoline oil regardless of your gas or diesel engine. We stock most air filters and windshield wiper blades. So don't forget, we offer 2 automatic car washes along with 2 self-serve bays. Stop by to have your car run and look great. You can go anywhere for an oil change, but you come to us for the experience.
Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. Drive in, drive out, it's that easy.
Kick is away. It'll be Epps running on it across the 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and dives down near the 30-yard line. Cameron Epps has been a real nice addition to the kick return game in the last few weeks.
Yeah, and a good run back out past the 30 there. A guy that Wolverines probably, you look next year, guy would have a greater role on offense, but figuring out where's he best fit, slot receiver, running back. But in the return game, you get him involved, and a good run back out past the 30 to the 31 as Wolverines look to break this tie. Each team has scored off of a turnover today, and we're tied at 7.
Both fullbacks lined up to the left side. Rankin, the tailback. Wiley is the quarterback. McGordy going to come inside on the line of scrimmage. Play clock at 3 seconds. They give the ball to Rankin, and Rankin able to dive forward down to the 35-yard line. He'll pick up 4 on first down.
Yeah, good job. You get back to Rankin, who's been so reliable this year. It was the fumble on the last Grove City offensive play. It was a great defensive play. Sometimes you acknowledge that, hey, they got us. And Rankin come back getting 4 yards. Good to go right back to him on the first play.
2 receivers go right, 1 to the left side. That is Seth McGordy. Burnett in at the fullback spot. Rankin remains the tailback. We approach 11 minutes to play here in this third quarter, tied at 7. Play clock down to 3 seconds. They snap it with 2. Wiley to throw. Looks for McGordy. Made the tough catch in traffic and was able to fight his way downfield near the first down marker, and that'll move the chains for the Wolverines.
Yeah, a lot of times they say about playing football in a phone booth as Fickus is slow to get up, as he was kind of crunched in between his teammate free safety Mel and then McGroarty. But that catch was made in a phone booth. Great coverage by Fickus, Mel the free safety there. And Ethan Wiley, he had a very small target, and he put it right on the bullseye of that target as Fickus is up, but kind of favoring his left arm. I believe it's the left arm. He's trying to maybe shake out, some of the tingling, if you will. But it's a pretty good shot that Mel delivered, but I think he may have ended up getting more of the cornerback than he did the receiver, Seth McGordy. But a first down to the 41.
McGordy with his 7th catch of the afternoon for the Wolverines. They'll wind the clock and get back to action. McGordy going to be the receiver between the numbers and the hashes to the right side. Burnett and Hoddle, the fullbacks, line up on a wing to the right side. Now they'll bring McGordy inside the hash marks with Rankin, the tailback. Wiley takes the snap. He'll give the ball to Rankin, try to step outside and spin off of a tackle. He'll be stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain. It's 2nd down and 10.
Nice job by Henry Bush, the outside linebacker, setting the edge. When they mean that, they say he's there, you don't get outside of him, he forces it back inside. He not only did that, he then made the tackle as well.
Now 1 receiver to the right and 2 to the left. It's Sullivan to the right. Penna and McGordy to the left side. Play clock at 6 seconds. Wiley dropping to throw. Has time, fires downfield for Sullivan, a little too tall for Daniel and incomplete. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 10.
They went after the backup cornerback in there, Cooper Gearhart, the freshman, 6'1", 180, nice size. And Sullivan, there was a little bit of a hole there, but Wiley overshot him, and 3rd down for the Wolverines.
1 receiver to the right, 2 to the left side. Rankin, the tailback. Grove City, 1 of 8, converting 3rd downs in this defensive struggle this afternoon. Wiley takes the snap. Feeling some pressure, going to roll away from that. Flag on the play. Wiley hit as he throws, and the pass is going to fall incomplete.
And there'll be a hold on the Wolverines. It was pretty obvious out in the open. I think everybody here that was paying attention saw it. Of course, Spartans will decline it, and the punt team will come out for the Wolverines with 9:24 to go in the 3rd.
Lane to punt for the 5th time this afternoon, averaging about 34 yards per kick today. It has stayed dry, but it's been just kind of dark and overcast all day.
Yeah, it is a damp day. You can see some of the jumping pits where they have the covers over them off to our right, standing water there.
Punt to Lane. And that is going to be a fair catch called for at the 25-yard line. So no return on Lane's punt, and the Spartans take over from their own 25. 9:19 to play here in this third quarter. Both teams able to take advantage of a turnover and turn that into a touchdown today.
Quick update on the PAC scoreboard. Bethany ahead of Teal 7-6 there in the middle of the third quarter. St. Vincent and Waynesburg have just started the second half. St. Vincent leading down at Waynesburg 17-14.
Detilio puts the slot receiver in motion. Now he'll reverse direction and come back to the right. They try to set up a pass to him. He makes the catch, but is pulled down from behind by Keegan Frazier right near the line of scrimmage.
Actually, it's going to be a loss of 1 on the play. Keegan Frazier, whatever he shook him up earlier is not affecting him as he came from his safety spot and tracked down the receiver Stack for that short loss on the play. Keegan Frazier, just what a great year he's had. A guy who has, for the first 3 years was a special teams guy, a reserve. Was not starting at the beginning of his senior year, but instead of pouting, he's continued to work on his chance, and he has maximized his opportunities.
Detilio to throw it on 2nd and 11. Long time in the pocket, now rolling to the outside. Jack Jolly there to just bump him ever so slightly out of bounds. And this is going to bring up 3rd down for the Spartans.
And that'll be a sack for Jack. Karcheski was there with the initial pressure, flushing him out, and then Jack Jolly that ranging over there to make the tackle. And Grove City staying with the front three. Cowers moved inside the nose tackle, and he was a reserve nose tackle the last 2 years, so he's certainly familiar there. Karcheski at end, and then Clements at right end with Brubaker, Jolly, and now Danny Franco in at the linebacker spots.
3 receivers in the formation. Detilio drops to throw. Hit as he throws, and that pass is incomplete out in front of his intended target in Brian Caldwell Jr., and that is a quick 3 and out for the Spartans.
Jolly from the front side, Brubaker from the back side. They high load him, kind of folded him up like a chair. Good to see Detilio pop up because he was hit as he let it go. He was in a vulnerable position. And Davidson winning the kick. Chance for the Wolverines to get excellent field position.
Snap back, Delfell. They block the punt. It's loose on the turf at the 10-yard line. And this Wolverine special teams unit has blocked a punt again.
Mason Klaus came through. 6'3", the long arms, and he swallowed that one up. The Wolverines have it at the 11, 1st and 10. Another block kick for the Wolverines. 3 takeaways and now a blocked kick. A chance for the Wolverines to retake the lead.
Special teams has really excelled this year getting after the kicker.
Nick Clements had the block last week. He's blocked a couple. Mason Klaus coming through, the sophomore from Red Bank Valley. Couple pass breakups today, and that was a breakup, all right.
1st and 10, Wolverines from the Spartan 11-yard line. Barzak and McGordy, the receivers. They give the ball to Rankin on 1st down, and Rankin is going to be dropped right at the line of scrimmage for no gain. It's 2nd and 10.
Defensively, Case Western reserve has moved to Chukwuocha. He's now manned up on McGordy. Fickus is on Sullivan on the other side. That's a change from the Spartans schematically.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. That's McGordy. Burnett, the fullback. It's Wiley and Rankin in the backfield. Play clock now down under 10 seconds. Wiley takes the snap, looks to throw, timing ball in the corner for Sullivan, brought in for the Grove City touchdown. A beautiful throw by Ethan Wiley for the score.
The Wolverines used every last bit of real estate in that end zone. It's 53 1/3 yards wide, 10 yards deep, and Daniel Sullivan back by the pylon got the feed in. Beautiful pass from Wiley, dropped it right into the mitts of Sullivan, and the Wolverines take the lead 13-7. The blocked punt resulting in a go-ahead score.
For Daniel Sullivan, 4th touchdown catch of the season for the junior receiver. Lane on for the extra point. Snap and hold are good, and Brady Lane's extra point also up and good. So in one play, the Wolverines turn the block punt into a touchdown. and now lead Case Western Reserve 14-7, 7:09 to play here in the third quarter. We'll step aside for a break and be back on the Wolverines Sports Network.
Here in Car Wash of Grove City. It's that time of year again. Buy one, get one free windshield wiper sale. You heard correct. BOGO windshield wiper sale with any of our Valvoline full-service oil change through the end of the year. So get ready for Old Man Winter today before he arrives. BOGO windshield wiper sale through December 31st. You can go anywhere for an oil change, but you come to us for the experience.
Valvoline Express Karen Car Wash of Grove City. Drive in, drive out. It's that easy.
Brady Lane ready to kick after the touchdown pass from Wiley to Sullivan. And the Spartans with two back deep standing right at their goal line. Lane's kick is going to be into the end zone for another touchback for Brady Lane. And the total now sits at 18 on the season.
And this Case Western Reserve offense, much like the Grove City offense, which has not really moved the ball a lot, now has to go long field, and that's been the key. One of the teams scored today, Mark, on short fields. Reminder that for every Grove City College touchdown and caused turnover this season, Northwestern Mutual Gold Financial is proud to partner with Grove City College football to support the Grove City Area United Way. Gold Financial, 160 South Broad Street in Grove City.
So first and 10 for DeTilio from his 25-yard line. He's going to turn fake, now give the ball to his tailback in Stefan Lopez. And Lopez able to pick up about 5 yards down to the 30. We're at second down and 5, and it looks like they've readjusted the Wolverine front back to what its base is.
Yeah, I've gone to the back to the base unit with Kellen Taylor, who's had a great year at nose tackle as a freshman back in there. Surprised that the Spartans have not gone back to the option. They had some success with it early on, but they have not. They do have Breyer back in as a wing.
DeTilio claps, takes the snap, looks to throw, stands in the pocket, going to roll to the outside. He'll run to the outside and just get the first down as he avoids the tackle of Jack Jolly.
And DeTilio, his legs have been a main weapon today. He had that 22-yard run earlier, of course, because of the sacks. Numbers have been skewed a little bit, but now he's 12 carries and about 37, 38 yards, depending on the official yardage granted.
First and 10, Spartans to their 35-yard line, trips to the right. DeTilio to throw, stands in the pocket, taking the one-on-one shot against Wheeler, and that pass is incomplete. Wheeler did a good job to force him towards the boundary, and the official right there in position said he couldn't get the foot down.
It was a good route, good throw, but just not enough room, and because of Wheeler's defense out there, Caldwell just had to go a little bit too close to the sideline and could not come down with a body part inbounds, and it's 2nd and 10. Would have been a pickup of 30-plus yards. Instead, it's 2nd and 10.
DeTilio overlooks the defense. Play clock down to 10 seconds. They'll drop to throw. Steps up in the pocket, avoiding the rush. Now he'll run across the 40 and dive for another first down across the 45 and down near the 47-yard line. Not been breaking big runs, but his runs have been effective and picking up first downs for the Spartans.
Yeah, he's able to get out of, break, contain, and get upfield, and those 7, 8, 10 yards, they're adding up. And now Case Western out close to midfield on a day where neither team has been able to really drive the field. Long drive of the day was 49 yards by Case earlier.
DeTilio turns the football over, avoided the rush, tried to throw back to his receiver. That pass skipped and incomplete for Brian Caldwell Jr. As DeTilio did a good job to avoid the leaping defender from the Wolverines and get that pass away.
It was Kellen Taylor that got in there, known more for his his play, his run stuffing. He has a couple of sacks this year, and he did not get the sack, but he forced the bad throw, which is the next best thing.
2nd and 10, 5:18 to play here, third quarter. 14-7 Wolverines. Spartans with the football, approaching midfield. Tilio claps, takes the snap. He'll have a deep drop to throw this time. Going to take the shot downfield, and the pass knocked away, and a couple of flags fly on the play as Keegan Frazier was the trailing defender.
And they'll get him for pass interference. That's not a bad penalty. It was going to be a catch for O'Brien. Instead of giving up 30 yards, you give up 15. And you mitigate your losses there. You have Frazier, he got there plenty early. But you know what? That's, again, in college football where it's not a spot foul when it's beyond 15, you know what? Sometimes you say, hey, they got me, but you instead of, again, a 25, 30-yard gain, it's 15. Yes, it's a new set of downs, but you know, all things considered, a smart play by Frazier. You know, he didn't compound the mistake of getting beat by then letting the guy catch it.
1st and 10 Spartans from the Wolverine, a 43-yard line. Trips to the right, single receiver left. Telio swings the ball out to his running back who's looking to throw, has a man wide open at the 25, across the 20 and down to the 15-yard line. That's Andy Cavesick who threw the football, and Dylan Cave made the reception.
The double pass, the first one backwards, and Cave, if that pass is out there a little bit more in front, he may have been able to score. He had to kind of wait for it to get there, but the trick play by Case Western, well-timed, and it's 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line.
Twins to each side of the formation. Andy Cavesick is the tailback to the left of Detilio. Takes the snap, drops quickly to throw. In the pocket, hit by Clemens as he throws, and Bowden Davidson batted the ball to himself for the interception at the back of the end zone.
Bowden getting up, one-handing it, pulling it in, a huge interception. It looked like it was going to be a touchdown, but Bowden Davidson said no. And the Wolverines come up with their 4th takeaway of the day. Give credit as well, Nick Clemens on the pressure. Cavesick, the running back, chopped him down in the backfield. Clemens, he got up, he pursued after Detilio. Detilio, the throw, he under pressure. It hung up just enough to allow Davidson to get the hand on it to not only break it up and then tip it down to himself. Wolverines, another takeaway. They have 1st and 10 at the 20 after the touchback.
Barzak comes in motion, settles as a wing or a tight end to the left side. They're going to run the ball with Rankin, and Rankin spins off the pile for about 2 yards. It is 2nd down and 8. And that's one of those plays, when they watch that in film, whether it be tomorrow or Monday, the whole team is going to just erupt.
Absolutely, and that's one that, because Case had all the momentum, 1st and 10 at the 15, a chance to go in and perhaps tie the game. Instead, they get nothing.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left side. Burnett is the fullback with Rankin the tailback. 3:45, clock rolling here in the 3rd quarter, 14-7 Wolverines. Going to give the ball to Rankin. Now Wiley pulls it back, and the ball knocked out of the hands of Daniel Sullivan and incomplete.
That was a great play fake. I mean, did not fool the cornerback Fickus over there, who's back in for the Spartans after having the left arm and shoulder banged up earlier. But he made a good play on that one, and another 3rd down for the Wolverines. And 3rd down certainly has been problematic today for the Wolverines. 1 of 9.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Ethan Wiley, the senior out of Mercer, has gone all the way for the Wolverines this afternoon. Play clock down to 2 seconds. 1, they snap it right at 0. Wiley going to take a shot, hit as he throws, and it's going to be way out in front of Sullivan and incomplete. And this will bring up 4th down, and the Wolverines will punt.
Henry Bush, the linebacker, beat the offensive lineman, and he drilled Wiley right in the rib cage. So after the turnover and touchback, Grove City will send the punt team out for the 6th time today. That was a big hit. Wiley popped up, but he will feel that one.
So Lane to punt from his own 7-yard line. Again, a high snap. Lane pulls it down, gets away a high, booming kick. Fair catch called for drifting all the way back inside the 30-yard line. Brady Lane really got a hold of that one.
Best kick of the day for Lane when the Wolverines certainly need it. It's going to be 50 yards. And another fair catch. Case will have it at the 28-yard line. 3:23 to go in the third quarter. Mark, a final from Don Lyle Field. The Wolverines have done it. The men's soccer team wins its first conference title in 20 years. They will go to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 1980. 1-0. Congratulations to the Wolverines and to head coach Mike Dreves. I always say you get out of it what you put into it. He has put in so much over the last 2 decades. Congratulations, Coach Dreves. I'm just so thrilled for him personally and the boys.
DeTilio will run it on first down, and he will get nothing. Right back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Might have even lost about a half a yard. It's second down.
Dave Cower tracking that down from his defensive end position. Dave Cower, a guy, you take over at end for Bryce Spolnick, who was a 4-year starter. Those are big shoes to fill, and Dave Cower has had just a terrific 2025 season. It seems like each week we call his name more and more. And that as a 3-4 end, or a 3-man line end, you're not necessarily going to rack up a ton of stats. Your job, occupy blockers, which he does a great job freeing up those linebackers. Now he's also starting to make plays, tackles for loss, like a play we just saw there, a no gain.
Second and 10 from the 28-yard line. And they flip this back to the receiver who went in motion, trying to throw back to DeTilio and batted away and incomplete by Mason Klaus. And whoa, the Spartans are really going deep in the bag of tricks.
Yeah, that time they went to an end or a reverse pass trying to circle. That was the Philly special from the Super Bowl years ago. Klaus able to use the closing speed and knock it away from DeTilio, who was the intended recipient. It'll be third down and about 10.5. But we saw the double pass, a halfback pass, and now a receiver pass. And Case Western Reserve just trying to get something going offensively. And good discipline by the Wolverines.
Third and 10 from their 28-yard line. Flags, movement up front. And that'll be 5 yards marked off against the Spartans. Coach Vogt getting fired up on the sidelines for the Wolverines.
He was out there. He was letting the official know that was a false start. They moved, not us. But how about this Wolverine defense? The 4 takeaways today. And Coach Vogt, he and the defensive coaching staff, such a great job. Bill Brest, the defensive line. Brian Herrick, Kendall Brest in the secondary. Jason Minch working with the linebackers also.
DeTilio takes the snap, drops to throw, avoids the rush from Nick Clements, and that pass is going to be broken up and incomplete. Ryan Montgomery, Noah Wheeler, all kinds of guys downfield defensively for the Wolverines.
DeTilio probably fortunate he wasn't intercepted there. That ball hung up. There were 3 defenders all in the area. And the Grove City defense gets a 3-and-out after the 50-yard punt. Case Western Reserve goes in reverse. The punt team out. This will be the 7th punt of the day for Case Western. Last one, of course, was blocked.
Odin Davidson at his 42-yard line, rushes on. Punter turns the ball over at the last second. This kick is going to check up and roll across the 45, down near the 44-yard line. A little knuckler that worked the sidelines, and that is where Grove City takes over with 2:17 to play in the third quarter.
To use a golf analogy, he kind of hit that one fat. And they got the ball out now at the 43-yard line for the Wolverines. They gained about, 15 yards in that exchange of punts. In a day like this, the way this game has been, every 10, 15 yards so critical. Start thinking here, if the Wolverines even can get in the field goal range, make it a 2-score game. But, not easy against this Case Western Reserve defense.
Wiley going to give the ball to Ian Demiri, 2 hands wrapped on the football. And Demiri pushes across the 45 down to the 44-yard line. To the 46-yard line, excuse me.
Good tough run from Demiri. Keep just hammering away, chipping away over the course of 3. Now we're getting towards the end of the quarters. Over 3 quarters. We'll see if that pays off in the fourth quarter.
1 receiver to the right, 2 to the left side. Wiley takes the snap. He will throw. Fires downfield. That's Sullivan who made the catch. Couldn't see if it was the 5 or the 8, and Daniel Sullivan comes up with the reception.
Sullivan on the quick out, his 4th catch of the afternoon. Right now, his touchdown earlier this quarter after the blocked punt. So now the Wolverines have a 14-7 lead.
3rd and 3. The ball resting right at midfield. Wiley Going to turn to check the cards on the sidelines. Now turns back to the field. Play clock under 10 seconds. Wiley going to throw, pulls it down. Great catch. Snagged that ball out of the air by Seth McGordy. A beautiful hands catch. That ball was behind him, and he just kind of reached back and grabbed the football.
He caught the back half of that one for the big third down conversion. Working on the backup cornerback in there again. Gearhart is in for Fickus. Chukwocha was on the other side. They go to McGordy, and he makes a big catch. And a couple of easy ones he didn't catch earlier. That one makes up for it.
And a high degree of difficulty catch. Play clock down to 10 seconds. McGordy will come in tight to the formation on the right side. Going to give the ball to Rankin, who stepped to the right, cut back middle. And Rankin will drive the pile down to the 40-yard line for a 3-yard gain and what will more than likely be our final play of the third quarter. After 3, it is Grove City 14, Case Western Reserve 7. You are listening to the Wolverines Sports Network.
Is that a faucet running? Nope, that's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. It is? Yeah, forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink. The water comes straight from the forest to us. In fact...
What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum.
That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe.
How do trees clean the air?
They soak up the dirty air on their leaves, branches, and trunks, which means clean air for us.
Cool. I didn't know that.
Yep, but the forest does more than give us clean air and water. It gives us shade for hot days, birds to listen to, and trees to climb.
Wow, that's awesome. I didn't know how cool the forest could be. Hey, let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Final 15 minutes of this one put up on the scoreboard. Wolverines facing a 2nd down and 7. Now left to right here in the fourth quarter from the Spartan 40-yard line. Play clock down to 12. Wiley turns and looks to throw. Fires the deep out for McGordy, who tried to come back to the football. And McGordy a little slow to get up as he got tangled up in the chains on that far sideline.
You know, essentially a one-man route. Everybody else stayed in, even including the other receiver, Barzak. Now 3rd and 7. Wolverines converted on 3rd down moments ago, just their 2nd 3rd down conversion of the day. This one 3rd and 7 at the 40.
Trips to the left, single receiver right side, Rankin the tailback. On 3rd down and 7 from the Spartan 40-yard line. Play clock now at 7 seconds. Wiley takes the snap, quarterback draw with Ethan Wiley diving for the sticks. It's close. The initial spot's going to have him about a yard shy. And another wrinkle we haven't seen this year out of the Wolverine offense.
Yeah, that's something we saw certainly years ago with Josh East. We saw it some with Sutton Ellis. Sutton more of a running quarterback, but Ethan, who, and there's a Case man who's down right now, has gone to a knee. It's the inside linebacker, Jack Griffiths, who's in there for the starter King. So Case getting a little bit threadbare at inside linebacker. But Ethan Wiley, Ethan's an excellent javelin thrower for the track and field team. Conference runner-up last year. So to be able to throw the javelin, obviously you have to have a strong arm, which he does. But you also have to generate some speed, get some momentum behind that. You don't see you don't see guys that are just, slow as box turtles throwing the javelin and doing it well. Ethan can run, and he showed it there, and comes up a yard short, but 4th and 1, and the Wolverines, there's no doubt here. You're at the 34. You're too far for the field goal. We're going to come out with the big boys.
It will shuffle the offensive line. Wolverines 1 of 1 in this game, converting on a 4th down. Both fullbacks in. Rankin's the tailback. And we've got movement up front, and flags will stop this play.
And I believe the Wolverines moved, but I think the officials just want to confirm because there was some movement from Case Western Reserve. I don't think Case ever broke the plane of the neutral zone, though. Derek Bainey, offensive line coach, assistant head coach, giving the official on the far side an earful.
And that'll be a false start penalty on the Wolverines to make it 4th and 5 now. Coach Bainey, Coach DiDonato looking for an explanation of the penalty.
I think they're maintaining that Case Western Reserve did something to trigger that, but it certainly looked like the Wolverines moved from up here, and the punt team will come on. Brady Lane looking to put the Spartans deep in their own end.
Returner standing at his 10. Brady Lane back at the 45-yard line. Low snap. Lane gets away a high kick, drifting towards the corner, and that's going to go out of bounds inside the 10-yard line, and no chance for a return. They'll spot it right at the 10. .14:05 to play in this big matchup in the President's Athletic Conference on this dreary Saturday afternoon with the temperature right at the 50-degree mark.
Thermometer says 50. The real feel is not 50, but we are in this beautiful press box here at DeSanto Field, and no matter whether it's hot or cold, we are comfortable in here today.
Cotillo on 1st and 10 will drop to throw. Pressure fires over the middle. Pass is going to be caught across the 25-30 and down all the way near the 33-yard line. It's a big grab from Brian Caldwell, the grad student out of Philadelphia.
Nice catch, and first off, nice throw, nice catch, and then nice run after the catch out to the 33-yard line. That gets Case Western Reserve out of that hole, out to the 33-yard line. That's the third longest play of the day for the Spartans.
Twins to each side. Wolverines will blitz.
New quarterback.
Backup quarterback in there looking to throw, and that pass is incomplete. And we'll have to get you a number of that backup quarterback that was in there.
It's a Pierce Olson. I apologize for stepping on the play-by-play guy. I violated rule number 1. But it is Olson in at quarterback for Cotillo, who was 10 of 25 with 3 interceptions. And they go to Olson, who is not listed on the 2-deep. The backup is Andrew Lowe. But again, Case has used a multitude of guys all season at quarterback, ever since Aaron Phillips went down with injury.
Olson to throw. Rolling out to the outside. Eyes downfield. He's going to be hit, and he's going to be dropped back inside the 30-yard line. A couple of Wolverines there to make the play, led by Kellen Taylor.
A freshman sandwich there. Clemens was there, but Taylor made the play. Taylor from Penn Trafford, Clemens from Moon. Moon beat Penn Trafford in the playoffs last night. I bet, I'm sure that Clemens and Ben Bladel are probably reminding the Jollies and Taylor and Ian DeMary about that today at the team meal. But a great job by those two rookies in putting Case Western Reserve in 3rd down and 14.
Olson will drop to throw, standing at his 20. Taking a shot downfield, ball knocked away ever so slightly by Noah Wheeler and incomplete.
Nice job by Wheeler, man-to-man coverage. Ryan Montgomery, the safety, over the top there as well. And after a promising start to the drive, the nice catch and run by Caldwell. Drive stalls out, and the punt team comes out again for the Spartans. It'll be the 8th punt of the day.
Bowden Davidson back at his 30-yard line. Snap right at shoulder high, rushes on. They block this punt and pick it up and take it into the end zone. That's Nick Clemens doing it all himself, blocking the punt, picking it up, and scoring the touchdown.
A hat trick. He came through untouched. That kick hit him right in the breadbasket. He picks it up with a 10 and takes it in for the touchdown. 20-7. The special teams scoring. Nick Clemens. What a play. What a second half of the year. What a freshman year he's had. Helped on a sack earlier on that drive with Kellen Taylor. Second blocked punt of the day for the Wolverines. 4 takeaways, 2 blocked kicks for Grove City.
They will reset the play clock. It's now at 19 seconds. Lambert to snap. Ellis will hold. Nice snap. They get it down. Lane's extra point is on the way, and it is good. Special teams contributing for points on the board for the Wolverines, who now lead this game 21-7 with 12:33 to play here in the fourth quarter on what has been a difficult afternoon for offense, but the Wolverines finding ways to get it done.
Defense and special teams, and especially special teams. The first blocked punt set up a touchdown. Second blocked punt results in a touchdown. Mason Klaus got the first one. Nick Clemens gets this one, 21-7. But he came right up the gut, right through the center guard gap, and
untouched.
Untouched. It wasn't as if somebody got a hand or finger on him, and he reached out, and the kick hit him in the stomach. And then he gets the fortunate bounce to the 10, takes it in for the touchdown, 21-7.
So Lane on to kick the football away as the margin grows to 14 for the Wolverines here with 12:33 to play in the fourth quarter. Wolverines round up the regular season on the road again next week. 1 o'clock kickoff at Hiram to face the Terriers. Lane has the ball at the 35-yard line. Two returners virtually in their end zone for the Spartans. Lane end over end kick. He'll run up on it at the 5, across the 10, 15. Cuts to the 20. On his feet, 25-30. And out near the 33-yard line, and one of the better returns of the afternoon for the Spartans. And that return was brought back by Jake Havik, number 15.
Yeah, starting a strong safety as well for Case Western Reserve, and gives the Spartans a little bit of life. There's 12:25 to go. That's a lot of time, as DeTilio now back in at quarterback after Olsen gets the hook. Or perhaps DeTilio maybe was shaken up.
Man in motion to the right side. DeTilio to throw. Danson in the pocket, loops that throw out, and the pass is going to be caught by the receiver down near the 49-yard line. That's Will Stack with the reception.
Nice catch. That ball took a long time to get there from the near hash mark to the far sideline. And quickly, Spartans to the line of scrimmage. They want to go hurry up.
DeTilio to throw. Being pressured. Eyes downfield. Going to throw this, lobbing it downfield, knocked away and incomplete. It's Mason Klaus getting a handle of that pass and knocking it away.
From a Spartan standpoint, I think maybe getting into a hurry up or an up tempo might get something going offensively. Try to get a little bit of rhythm. Of course, they got the first down play. Then now they're going to huddle up again. But if you can wear down that pass rush, slow it down a little bit, maybe that's all of a sudden when somebody breaks open in the secondary. But Case now will huddle up and get ready for the 2nd and 10 play at its own 49.
One receiver to the right, trips to the left side. Play clock at 8 seconds. DeTilio takes the snap. Standing in the pocket. Danson to his right side, throws downfield, and that is going to be incomplete. Looking again for Will Stack. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 10. The Spartans have had 4 players throw a forward pass. They've had 8 receivers each catch at least 1 pass this afternoon.
You talk about a team effort, but it's resulted though, and the guys throwing the ball are combined 13 of 33 though. They've thrown 3 to the guys in the white.
3rd and 10 from the 49. DeTilio back to throw. Clements on the rush. DeTilio steps up. He'll cross midfield and then be knocked down at the 48-yard line. It's going to bring up 4th down. It's Mason Klaus on the tackle for the Wolverines.
Mason Klaus has been everywhere today. At the line of scrimmage, in the secondary, on special teams, and that time getting the slippery DeTilio out on the open, and Case Western Reserve will go for it here. 11:20 to go, 4th down, and close to 8. Well, that's 7.5 if you want to be precise.
First 4th down conversion attempt for the Spartans today. DeTilio firing over the middle and threads that in through Noah Wheeler for the catch down to the 35-yard line. I don't know how Brian Caldwell made that catch, but he held on for the 1st down.
That was a heck of a play made, or heck of a catch. Caldwell may have kept Case Western Reserve in this one with that catch.
DeTilio to throw, stands in the pocket. That ball was partially deflected and incomplete. It's second down and 10.
Yeah, Jordan Karcheski got just a little piece of it, not enough, but enough to affect it. And incomplete, second and 10 for Grove City. Clemens will check out. Danny Franco, sophomore from North Catholic, will check in. Get Clemens a breather, get him gassed up for perhaps a third down situation. But Franco, another guy who's been playing more and more as the season is going on, and Wolverines really like him.
Second and 10 from the 35. DeTilio takes the snap, stands in the pocket, fires downfield, pass caught, but no yards after catch on that reception by Dylan Cave. It'll bring up third down for the Spartans. It's going to be third and about close to 3. Going to go right back to the line. DeTilio stands in the pocket. Timing throw downfield. Montgomery in coverage, and the pass is incomplete. And a late flag comes in from the official in the back of the end zone. Going to call pass interference on Montgomery.
May have had the arm. We could, the receiver and defender's backs are to us. He may have kind of had the arm bar up there. The back judge would have had a good view on it. But it'll be half the distance to the goal and a first down for Case Western. Fifth flag of the afternoon on the Wolverines for about 39, 40 yards. Case 3 penalties, 25 yards.
DeTilio trips to the right, single receiver to the left. Stefan Lopez, the tailback. Play clock at 10 seconds. DeTilio takes the snap. He'll drop to throw. Going to fire the ball to Lopez, who made the catch and got dropped in his tracks. Coming up to make the stop, Caleb Brubaker one-on-one with the running back.
A dozen tackles now today for Caleb out in the open, just tracking down Lopez. Again, we said in the first half, with especially after when Ben Blado went out in the Westminster game, it's like Caleb Brubaker says, okay, give me that cape with the S on it, and he's put it on, and he has just elevated his already superb level of play even higher in recent weeks, and a great play there for no gain.
Second and 10, DeTilio to throw. Hit as he throws, looking for the end zone, and knocked away and incomplete. It's Frazier down there on the coverage, just able to get enough to dislodge the football.
Keegan Frazier, who had an interception earlier, his team leading 6th of the season, able to swat that one away, and it's third down, and obviously 2 plays for Case Western Reserve to get those 10 yards. Field goal at this point, 9:43 to go in a 14-point game. The field goal is likely not an option.
Go trips to the left, single receiver right side. Lopez, the tailback, to the right. DeTilio dropping to throw, stepping up in the pocket, firing towards the end zone, and that pass is going to be caught for a touchdown for the Spartans for Dylan Cave, his 3rd receiving touchdown of the year.
The deep in route got right to the goal line, got inside the defender, and DeTilio, despite the pocket collapsing around him, stood his ground and threw it in there, and it's 21-13.
So Petrozzi will come on for the extra point. 37 of 37 on the season for the junior kicker out of Illinois. Snap down, kick on the way, and that kick is up and good inside the right upright. And with 9:37 to play in the 4th quarter, we have a 7-point ball game. Grove City 21 and Case Western Reserve 14 on the Wolverines Sports Network.
5. The President's Athletic Conference is regarded as one of the elite NCAA Division III conferences in the nation. Comprised of 12 private institutions and 1 associate member, the PAC thrives in athletics and academics. Now sponsoring 24 varsity sports, the PAC remains unique in this day of high-pressure college athletics, with academics at the core of every program. With over 300 academic All-Americans and over 1,400 academic honor roll recipients with a 3.6 GPA or higher in the past year alone. Our student athletes excel in athletics as well as the classroom. Want to learn more? Visit us at pacathletics.org or follow us on social media.
Cameron Epps, Chase Rankin back to return this kick. It is a high, deep kick. Epps is going to let this go about 5 yards deep into the end zone for the touchback. As you look up on the board, Grove City 21-14 lead, 9:37 to play fourth quarter. Both teams with all 3 timeouts.
And relatively speaking, it's turned into a bit of a track meet here in the second half. After 7-0, Grove City had the lead at the intermission. Offenses have woken up a little bit. Some short fields have helped as well, but each team scoring a touchdown in each quarter of the second half. The Wolverines still up 7 and with the ball. The Wolverine defense has been out there quite a bit, though, here in the last quarter plus. Nice to put together a time-consuming drive.
Wiley takes the snap, gives the ball to Chase Rankin, who's able to fall forward for a couple of yards on a first down. It'll bring up a second down and 8. And we've got a player down on the field for the Wolverines. Couldn't get the number. Looks like it might be a cramp situation they're working on.
It's Seth McGroarty. She had athletic trainer Rick Hawk out there, and hopefully it is. While cramp doesn't feel good right now, hopefully that's just the case. They were looking at the calf. Now Seth up and jogging off, and he's going to get a swig of water or the sports drink out of the jug down there. He'll check out for the second down and 8 play, and he certainly has been busy. He had 16 targets in the first half. See if they have it. Stats don't say here, but he's been a busy guy today.
Second down and 8, 9:15 to play here in the fourth quarter. 2 receivers to the left. They run the ball with Chase Rankin. And Rankin able to get a push across the 30 down to about the 31-yard line. He'll pick up 4. It'll be third down and 4. Both teams averaging just about 3 yards a carry as the running game's have not been able to get it done due to great defense today. Play clock at 15 as they turn it towards the sidelines. 1 receiver to the left, 2 to the right side. Play clock now down to 5 seconds. Wiley takes the snap. He'll stand in the pocket and throw downfield, and that pass is going to be incomplete near the 40-yard line.
Looking for Luke Schuegas, who checked in, and he's in for McGroarty, and the Wolverines go 3 and out. Now Case Western Reserve, which was able to get something going last time. Of course, the scoring 11-play, 65-yard drive. Spartans about to get the football back with 8+ minutes to go in regulation.
Lane to punt for the 8th time. Good snap back to him. Gets a spiraling kick away that's going to knuckle out of bounds. And this will give some pretty good field position to the Spartans.
Out of bounds at the 45. I think that's the Case 45. I thought it was maybe closer to midfield. Maybe a bit of a generous spot because that one landed well out of bounds. But Spartans will go back to the field. One thing to keep an eye on, Bowden Davidson's been a bit gimpy at cornerback on the near side for the Wolverines. See if Case Western Reserve goes in that direction.
1 receiver right, 2 to the left. Wing to the left side. Detilio takes the snap, stands in the pocket. Quick throw downfield. Bowden Davidson makes the tackle at midfield on the receiver, Dylan Kay, for a gain of 5. And Bowden Davidson still down on the field at midfield.
He reached back and was grabbing like at his left hip or left rib cage. I'm not sure what it was, but he made the tackle and then immediately reached back there.
Training staff for the Wolverines over there to take a look at Bowden Davidson.
Take a look at the PAC scoreboard here. 8:39 to go, fourth quarter. Bethany, a 17-6 lead on Teal Bison, looking to get win number 1 on the season. Waynesburg leading St. Vincent 35-24 with 7.5 minutes to go. W&J all over Geneva 49-7, and at Memorial Field in New Wilmington 4:38 to go. Westminster leads Hiram 76-0. Here it's 2nd down and 5 for Case Western at midfield.
Detilio trips to the right, single receiver left side. He'll drop the throw. Going to take the underneath completion. That'll be good enough for a 1st down. Across the 45 and down to the 43-yard line. Levi Teets in for one play, and Bo Davidson back onto the field.
Grove City's not getting as much pressure on Detilio either. He's been under less duress.
Detilio standing in the pocket, timing throw downfield, and the receiver able to hold on and make the catch inside the 15-yard line, and the Spartans want to pick up the tempo.
Yeah, ever since they went to the up-tempo in the last drive, it's changed the tenor of things.
Detilio claps, takes the snap. Looking to his left, throwing to his left, ball knocked away and incomplete. That's Bowden Davidson on the coverage with the deflection.
Yeah, they want to see, all right, are you really healthy there, number 3? And not play, yes he was, made the play. 2nd down and 10 at the 15-yard line. But the bigger thing is Grove City was getting pressure much of the afternoon. Even though they weren't getting sacks, they were getting Detilio off his spot back in the pocket. But now he's been able to sit back there and have time.
Kavsik at the tailback spot to the right side of Detilio. Dropping the throw. Looking towards the middle of the field. Ball popped in the air and incomplete. Noah Wheeler got a hand on it.
He and Montgomery both back there as they tried to hit Caldwell. It was the play similar to what they scored the touchdown to Cave from the other side. But that time it was Wheeler on the breakup. It's now 3rd and 10 for Case. This becomes an interesting situation. If you're Case Western and don't get the conversion here, do you kick the field goal? 7:11 to go, and the Grove City offense has not really done a whole lot here in the second half.
3rd down and 10. Detilio stepping up, looking for the end zone, and the pass is going to be caught at the 2-yard line, and there is a flag back at the 22.
And the way that the Spartans, their body language, this is coming back. It would be 1st and goal at the 2.
That is an offensive face mask, a rarely called penalty, but the flag thrown, that is the 4th penalty on Case Western Reserve, and that had to be,
egregious.
Right.
And I thought maybe a hold, which would be 10, but now 15 yards. Now becomes 3rd down and 25, back at the 30.
Detilio, single receiver right, trips to the left side. He'll drop the throw. Standing in the pocket. Now the pocket breaks down. He's going to take off and run up the middle. Detilio inside the 10 and down to about the 8-yard line. He's still going to be a couple yards shy of the 1st down.
He was flushed out, but using his legs, gets all the penalty yardage back, and then a bunch more, now 4th and 3. And no question at all for Case Western Reserve to go for it here.
6.5 minutes to play, 21-14 Grove City. It is 4th down and about 3 for the Spartans. All 3 timeouts for both coaches. Kavsik is the running back. Detilio the quarterback. Trips to his right. Looking right, looking left, looking for the end zone, and that pass overthrown and incomplete. Keegan Frazier on the coverage, and it is a turnover on downs.
They're looking for O'Brien in the back corner of the end zone. Frazier locked on him man for man. Pass incomplete. Wolverines bend, they don't break, and they take over at their own 8, leading by 7 with 6 minutes to go.
So a big stop on a 4th down for the Wolverine defense. We'll now have the ball at their 8-yard line with 6:01 to play here in this afternoon's 4th quarter. Wolverine sends single receivers to each side of the formation. Running back a couple yards behind Ethan Wiley, the senior quarterback. They're going to give the ball to Ian Demiri on 1st down. And Demiri able to push the pile across the 10 and down between the 12 and 13-yard line on first down.
Nice tough run to get about 4.5 yards. DeMary, two hands over the ball, going right up the middle, and the extra lean got him an extra yard.
So DeMary will check out. It's Rankin back in there at the tailback spot on 2nd and 5 from the 13-yard line. Single receivers each side in close to the formation. Play clock down to 3 seconds. Wiley takes the snap, gives the ball to Rankin, trying to cut to the outside. And Rankin going to lose about a yard on that carry and bring up a 3rd down in a long 6 to go.
Bush from the backside tracking him down. Wolverines 2 of 13 on 3rd down today. Each team's punted 8 times. Each team's converted once on 4th down.
Play clock at 15 seconds. We're at 4:40 and clock rolling in this game. Grove City 21, Case Western 14. Wiley takes the snap. He's going to throw the slant to Sullivan, who made the catch. And Sullivan's down to the 19-yard line.
And he got it.
And they are going to give him the 1st down. It was very close.
It was the last little lean. Chukwuocha had a hold of him, and Sullivan, I think, was able to kind of use his momentum and the way just using physics, pulled everybody forward for that extra 2 feet to get the 1st down.
So this drive continues for the Wolverines. Game clock now down under 4 minutes to play.
Westminster held on, by the way, 76-0 the final.
I was concerned. Snap to Wiley. He will give the ball to the running back. And just pushing his way into the line of scrimmage for no gain. It's 2nd down and 10.
Of course, the other thing that has come into play in college football the last couple of years, the 2-minute timeout as well. That can affect late game strategies for teams as well. Prior to last year, Mark, this might have been a case where Case would have started using the timeouts, but the 2-minute timeout, the equivalent of the 2-minute warning in the professional ranks, has adjusted some of those strategies in terms of clock management, end of half, end of game.
Play clock now down under 5 seconds. Going to give the ball to Rankin. There's a hole up the middle for Rankin, still on his feet and diving down near the 30-yard line. And that is another Grove City 1st down. Great second effort by Chase Rankin.
Rankin able to bull forward to the 29-yard line. You mentioned the second effort, had just enough of a crease. And again, the Wolverines of, the final numbers today, wherever they end up, they're not going to be eye-popping in terms of the ground attack. But do you think over the course of, 57-plus minutes, all those runs earlier helped set up that when the Wolverines needed to get a new set of downs. They have 1st and 10 at the 29.
Out of the play clock down to 2 seconds. Going to give the ball again to Rankin. And Rankin down to the 31-yard line. And it looks like the Spartans are going to elect to use one of those 3 timeouts before the 2-minute timeout. 2:08 to play, 4th quarter. Grove City 21, Case Western 14 on the Wolverines Sports Network.
Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. It's that time of year again. Buy one, get one free windshield wiper sale. You heard correct. BOGO. Windshield wiper sale with any of our Valvoline full-service oil change through the end of the year. So get ready for Old Man Winter today before he arrives. BOGO windshield wiper sale through December 31st. You can go anywhere for an oil change, but you come to us for the experience.
Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. Drive in, drive out. It's that easy.
2:08 to play in the 4th quarter this afternoon from DeSanto Field in Cleveland, Ohio. It's a 21-14 lead for Grove City. Spartans using one of their timeouts. They have a pair. Coach DiDonato has all 3 of his. Wolverines facing a 2nd and 8 from the 31-yard line. Chase Rankin going to get the carry. Rankin bottled up right near the line of scrimmage. And the clock will roll down to the 2-minute timeout. So 2 minutes to play, fourth quarter. Grove City 21, Case Western 14 on the home of the Wolverines Sports Network.
Escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Third down and 8 facing the Wolverines, who are 3 of 14 in converting third downs. Spartans show pressure, now they'll back off. Wiley looking to throw downfield. Sullivan cut the route off short, and the pass falls incomplete and brings up fourth down.
And stops the clock with 1:56 left, so Case Western Reserve will have 2 timeouts. They get this ball back off the right foot of Brady Lane. It'll be Wolf back to receive the punt.
Lane will punt for the 9th time here this afternoon. Spartans run a man on late. Lane gets away the kick. Wolf ran up on it, but let this roll, and this is going to take a Wolverine roll all the way down to about the 26-yard line before it's down there by the snapper, Derek Lambert.
It was not a pretty punt, but it was an effective punt. And Wolf, and I'm sure there's some people saying, oh, he's got to catch that. It was sinking fast. And knowing this game situation, knowing how important possession is, if he comes up and muffs it and doesn't get it, it's game over. So he let it go, and yes, it cost his team 15 yards, but he was stuck. You know, he has to go back to a certain depth, expecting what you'd get from Lane. He didn't get it. Wolverines benefit from it, but it's going to come down to the Wolverine defense one more time.
Cotillia with trips to his right, drops to throw. Fires downfield, pass intercepted. Caleb Brubaker just stepped in front of that throw and forced another turnover by the Wolverine defense.
5th takeaway today, and that may do it. 1:39 to go. Still the 2 timeouts, so the Wolverines can't necessarily just sit on it. Caleb Brubaker, what a senior year he's having. What a day he's had. What a November he's had. The senior from Mechanicsburg may very well have set Grove City on course for its 6th straight win. One more first down will do it for the Wolverines, who take it to Case Western 36.
Ian DeMary is the tailback. Single receiver to the left side. That's McGroarty. Both fullbacks are in there. Wiley going to give the ball to the senior DeMary across the 30, 25-20, 15-10, 5, touchdown DeMary, 36 yards to the end zone to cap this one off for the Wolverines.
The big boy rumbling out there, Ian DeMary, 36 yards for the touchdown after Brubaker got the interception. Case had everybody in tight once he got through that first line going off the left side. The Wolverines went unbalanced that side. They just blew the Case defense off of the line, 27-14.
Lambert to snap it. Ellis will hold. Lane on for the extra point. Play clock under 10 seconds. Good snap in, hold, and Lane's extra point inside the right upright and good. And Wolverines have now doubled up the Spartans 28-14 with a minute 32 to play here in the fourth quarter.
Think about Ian DeMary, a guy, senior. He's been the number 2 guy, whatever, the last few years. And this year, Chase Rankin has maybe gotten more of the carries. Has Ian DeMary, has he pouted? Has he felt sorry for himself? Woe is me. No, he's continued to work when he's gotten his opportunity, and a lot of times his opportunities are in a tough spot. You know, like we saw earlier, coming out from your own goal line. We need you to get 2 yards against an 8-man front. Go get him. Well, he's done that. Of course, he got the 4 touchdowns last week, and then this one to pretty much just about sew it up, 36 yards. You love to see it. A guy who has done whatever's been asked of him. He's been on the kickoff team during his career. He's done all that dirty work here against this very good Case Western team, giving the Wolverines a 2-score lead.
And now has 10 rushing touchdowns for his senior season for Ian DeMary, the senior tailback out of Penn Trafford. Lane on to kick this ball away. End over end. Run up on across the 10, 15, 20, 25, and diving down to the 30-yard line. And that is where the Spartans will have it with a minute 28 to play and 2 timeouts.
Remember a few years ago, there was a similar situation. I believe it was Grove City playing Case Western 3 years ago at home on homecoming in a 14-13 game when Clayton Parrish went down short of the goal line. And sure, some people are saying, no, go down, go down. The thing is, with those 2 timeouts, the Wolverines could not have run out the clock in that situation. So scoring, that's the right thing to do there. And you can say, well, you could kick a field goal this side. DeMary, that was the right thing to do there.
Looking to throw on first down, hit and sacked, and who is it again in the backfield? It's Caleb Brubaker making the play.
We joked about Anthony Brunette being PAC Offensive Player of the Week. I think Caleb Brubaker is making a strong case to be PAC Defensive Player of the Week.
Olsen back in there at the quarterback spot. Flags fly. They take the shot downfield, and the pass is going to be intercepted by Keegan Frazier.
Wolverines did not get the 12th guy off the field, so it was a free play, and the Spartans will get the down over.
So we see the change again at quarterback. Pierce Olsen, the junior out of Little Sliver, New Jersey.
So there are penalties on both teams. Case Western Reserve an illegal shift, so they wipe out or they offset. But so back to Olsen, and if you're Case Western Reserve looking at next week, the regular season finale, what do you do? DiTilio, 18 of 41 today with 4 interceptions. He gives you a threat running the ball. I mean, it's sure Coach Greg Deblack and staff, they're wondering.
Olsen to throw again, being pressured all the way back inside his 5, and throws this one out of bounds as he tumbled into the end zone. And I was waiting for the flag, and here it comes.
I thought they might say that Caldwell was in the area, but the official, the line judge on the near side, and often the officials will give it a fair amount of grace regarding that. But no, so it's a grounding penalty back to the 3. It also goes, it's a loss of down as well. Now it's 3rd down and 37 for Case Western Reserve. Wouldn't you love to be a pass rusher in this case? You've got one play mark.
Right. Set everybody free.
And also a 10-second runoff.
So
it'll start on the wind.
46 seconds to go now.
And they took it down to 36.
They took off 20. They got to put 10 back. So it is 3rd down and 37 for the Spartans. Olsen takes the snap in his end zone, fires the pass out that is completed to Bo Wolf, and it's going to be 4th down at the 9-yard line. Game clock continuing to run, now under 30 seconds. They need to get to the 40 for a 1st down. Olsen swings the ball out into the flat. Receiver made the catch, but he is going to be well shy at the 20-yard line. And now the Spartans are 1 of 3 on 4th down, and Grove City will have the football with 17 seconds to play in the game.
The Wolverines are going to go to 7-2 overall. They're going to be in sole possession of second place in the PAC, mathematically alive to get a share of the league title. That would require a win next week, and then W&J be an upset at home next week. But 7-2, 6 straight wins, keeping an outside shot at a playoff berth alive, and further solidifying whatever postseason opportunity could come down the pike, as Ethan Wiley will take a knee. The Grove City Wolverines are going to head back home with a hard-fought victory, defense, special teams, and just enough offense. Get the Wolverines to 7-2.
Wolverines win it here this afternoon at 28-14. With the win, they are 7-2 and 6-1 in the PAC. The Spartans drop to 4-1 overall, and they are now 4-3 in the PAC. A big road win this afternoon for the Wolverines. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll give you a look at some of the final numbers for the Wolverines. You are listening to the Wolverines Sports Network.
Show. Up next, we have Satchmo. Satchmo is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right, a group known especially for their couch-snuggling, ball-chasing, face-licking, tail-wagging, backyard-hanging, and, of course, companionship.
And what breed would you say Satchmo is?
I'd have to go with maybe a lavish terrier-hound chihuahua-looking kind of mix.
Tremendous dog.
I'd also like to point out Satchmo's coloring, a white, gray, brown, black brindle, simply marvelous.
You know, it's such a treat to watch a dog like this.
Now, let's see him in action.
Look how he makes eye contact with his person.
That's actually known as the treat stare.
How intuitive. And now he appears to be excitedly turning in circles.
Ah, the happy dance, so common with this group.
And finally, the loving face lick.
It's great how he just gets in there and, well, licks.
Fantastic. But really, the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Satchmo is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt.
Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
This is why you work so hard to pay the mortgage. Because home is more than 4 walls and a roof. It's that porch swing on a summer night. It's pajamas with feet and everybody over for Sunday dinner. And that old stuffed chair in the living room you just can't get rid of. This is why you work a second job. This is why you learn to fix things yourself, so you could save on repairs. Because home is your place, your memories, your family sleeping in their own beds at night. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. And now even more options are available. Call 888-995-HOPE today. That's 888-995-HOPE. Or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov.
Good night, Mama.
This is why. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
It is a Wolverine winner this afternoon here at DeSanto Field, 28-14 over Case Western Reserve. Always been a tough place to play when you come in to play the Spartans.
Yeah, it certainly is. Case Western Reserve, a very disciplined, well-coached team. And we said in the opening, it's going to come down to who makes the fewest mistakes today. And there certainly were mistakes on both sides in terms of turnovers and whatnot, but ultimately, Grove City, the defense, 5 takeaways, 4 interceptions and a fumble recovery, and 2 blocked punts, one that led directly to a scoop and score for Nick Clemens, another one that gave the Wolverines the ball at the 10, led to a Daniel Sullivan touchdown catch. Add all those things up, it's when you get a special teams touchdown, your chances of winning go way up. Certainly did for the Wolverines. And then at the end, the ground game, which it was tough sledding all day against this Case Western Reserve defense. Ian DeMary breaks through the 36-yard touchdown run to put it away, and the Wolverines win 28-14. 6 straight wins for the Wolverines. They're 7-2 overall, 6-1 in the league.
You look at the final numbers. They finished with 133 yards rushing as a team. Big part was that last DeMary touchdown. But when they needed to be able to get conversions, That big offensive line, we talk about it week in and week out. It wears on you for 4 quarters.
It certainly does. 133 yards, and okay, you run the ball, you stop the run. Case Western Reserve 71 yards on 27 carries, nearly a 2-to-1 edge for Grove City in that category. Again, Rankin 83 yards, DeMary 48 yards. It was the way the 2025 Wolverines are constructed because of some injuries and so forth. It's not going to be pretty. Like last year, the Wolverines maybe were a little bit more explosive on offense. They could score quickly. They didn't. They had the path to victory was different. Maybe they had a couple different ways to get to victory. A little bit more margin for error. The 2025 Wolverines, they have a good defense, a very good defense, in fact. Your special teams unit, you start with your kicker punter Brady Lane. You have good return men. You have excellent coverage units. Obviously, the punt block unit. Terrific, getting 2 of them today. So you have those. You play to your strengths. You have a young offensive line that probably the run blocking is ahead of the pass blocking, but the pass blocking has gotten better today. Only 1 sack today in what was 36 pass plays for the Wolverines. So against a good pass defense and pass rush of Case Western Reserve, Joseph Swarm came in leading the league in sacks, and Wolverines were able to keep him under wraps. But running the ball, they've played to their strengths well. It's a sign of great coaching, everything during the week, the preparation, not trying to do a key. Don't try and do things you can't do. And the Wolverines do what they do well, and they did them well today and get a 28-14 win over Case Western Reserve. The Wolverines go to the regular season finale next week at 7-2. Still certainly alive in the Pool C race. That's at-large berths. There are 13 of those. The Wolverines, they'll need some help. But when you check the scoreboard later today, tonight, check it tomorrow or next week as well. You never know. You could get some help. Next thing you know, all of a sudden, one team beats another. Somebody gets upset because in sports there are always upsets. Hopefully the Wolverines don't get upset next week at Hiram. But hey, maybe things play out. You get in, and if it doesn't work out, you're probably looking to go to the Open Doors Bowl in Canton, which would be a very nice way to conclude a season as well, playing against either an OAC, NCAC team or Heartland team. But all in all, that would be it's been a fun year. This was a fun one today. Got a little hairy in the 4th quarter, but this Wolverine defense finding ways to get it done. Defensively, 5 interceptions today, or 4 interceptions. Noah Wheeler, Bowden Davidson. How about the play Bowden made in the end zone? It's 14-7. Case about to go in and tie it. Tips the ball up in the air to himself, makes the interception to preserve a 14-7 lead. Keegan Frazier, his 6th interception of the year. Caleb Brubaker with a 21-14, the interception right before the DeMary touchdown run. Guys just making plays. Brubaker 2 sacks as well today. Nick Clemens a sack and a blocked punt. Kellen Taylor a sack. Mason Klaus, I don't know how many pass breakups he had. He had to have about 5 today, I'd say. Brubaker, 15 total tackles. He'll get his name in the paper, certainly. But all in all, this was a lot of fun. It's always fun playing against Case Western Reserve because they are they've been such a good program over the last 2 decades under Greg Debelak, who's an outstanding coach. He has a great staff here. And you better be on point when you play these guys. And today the Wolverines, again, wasn't perfect, but perfect enough.
It's kind of been the motto this year: find a way to win, and they have done that now to stretch the winning streak out even further.
Yeah, and sometimes and it can be taken, and I think it's truly a compliment when you say at times the Wolverines win ugly, because it's not 80-yard runs and 60-yard passes and high flying. It's grinded out. It's strap the equipment on a little bit tighter, dig in, get dirty, know that it's going to be a battle for 60 minutes. You pack your lunch, your hard hat, all those cliches and stuff, and they find a way to do it. And I think it's a testament to the guys. It's a testament to the coaching staff, head coach Andrew DiDonato and his staff, and what they've built over the course of the last several years of these types of program wins. Okay, we're going to figure out what do we have to do to win this week, and a lot of times you're thinking about how do we do things, the process and all that, and that's all very important. But also, how do we end up with more on the scoreboard than the other team at the end of the day? Whatever it takes. This team today did whatever it took. 5 takeaways, 2 blocked punts, enough of a ground game, capitalizing on mistakes. Ethan Wiley, 2 touchdown passes. Nice way for the Wolverines to get win number 6 in a row.
You know, it's not always about how you win, it's that you win. And that has happened a lot this season.
I remember the noted philosopher Al Davis once said, "Just win, baby." And the Wolverines, they won today, baby.
I'm sure that noted philosopher is studied well here at Case Western
He
University.
might be, along with Socrates and Plato and all of them. But hey, 28-14, Wolverines get a big win today.
A big win, and now the attention turns to the regular season finale, the first trip in a long time to Hiram, Ohio, to face the Terriers to round out the regular season. And then you wait and see what opportunities will come to play in Week 11.
Wolverines, if they go and win next week, be 8-2. They've done all they can do. You play Mount Union in Week 2, they lost that one, and then a tough night against W&J. But hey, W&J coming out of that open week changed some things up. Presidents have been on a roll. They've won 7 in a row now, and just the way that things have shaken out, the overall the numbers regarding the conference not a lot of out-of-conference success this year. I think that may weigh into some resumes and so forth. But hey, the Wolverines keep winning. See what happens. One more next week, and we'll be back together here in this fine state that you've lived in your entire life. So
that's right. So that'll do it for us here this afternoon. Big thank you to everyone here at Case in the press facility.
Absolutely. John Schwartz, the Director of Athletic Communications here, he and his outstanding staff. John is a great guy and a true professional, and always enjoyed coming here. We're taking care of great, beautiful facility. Everything is top-notch. If you want to know how to do the job at this level, just give John a call or follow him for a day. Eddie Karakis, his assistant, and the folks here, TJ Shelton, the athletic director. It's top-notch here, and we are very thankful to have been able to come here and work and call what was a fun game.
Absolutely. It's always fun when we come here. We appreciate their hospitality, and we appreciate a Wolverine winner as the Wolverines win it here this afternoon by a final score of 28-14. We'll talk to you next week from Hiram right around 12:15, 12:20 with the pregame. That is going to do it for us right here on the Wolverines Sports Network.
Wolverines.
We thank you for joining us for this special presentation of Western Reserve Radio. And we now return to our regularly scheduled programming.
Youngstown, Warren, and Salem Sports Talk is on the iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast.
All the things that come to your mind in a spot like this, the old backdoor cover on a team that hasn't lost against the point spread all year, those